Comic Timing
is a proud member
of the
Stop screwing it up.
of the Comics Podcast Network.
Bitch.
Bitch?
Welcome to episode 192 of Comic Timing, a comics podcast devoted to the average comic book fan. From the average comic book fan, joining his rotating panel of guests and myself, Ian Levesine, discuss whatever comes to mind, time after time, here on Comic Timing. Well, a little independent movie came out a couple of weeks ago that no one ever heard of, about a guy in a funny helmet with a bunch of pretty gems running around the universe spreading love and joy. We're going to discuss it here on this episode, and probably some other stuff too, like usual. Here now, Comic Timing. Hey there, folks. My name is Ian Levesine, and welcome to episode 192 of Comic Timing. Yet again, joining me in studio this time around, or kitchen table, or dining room table, I guess, is Raph Suhu. Raph?
Dining room nook.
Right, dining room nook table. There we go. Yeah. So I get to actually look at him and stop him from doing stupid shit instead of having to say it over the Skype recording. So I think that's a little bit more useful.
Minimal Batman voice.
Yeah, you better. This is a Marvel episode. We are not talking that much about DC.
I don't know whose voice I could. I don't know. Australian, British. I don't really know.
He'll figure it out. He better not try to do Thanos. Brent, what's your best Thanos impersonation?
That's fine, Rabbit.
Do you have a Thanos impersation?
That wasn't a Thanos impersonation.
No, that was my Thor. I said Australian, British. That's Chris Hemsworth.
I know. I'm Josh Brolin. I'm kind of doing a voice, but not really.
It doesn't mean Nick Nolte.
That's beautiful.
That's James Gandolfini. Get the hell out of here.
You can find my movies on cable.
Coming out in 3 weeks.
It comes out this Friday, dude. I've got my tickets for that.
Actually,
if you said that in the movie, it would have been 3 weeks
That's
from
true.
when.
Considering the release schedule of this show, that came out a month ago.
Shut up. But not wrong.
Timely Ian gets this one out.
Yeah, we'll see. Laughing in the background is Brandon Christopher. Brandon.
Hello there. It's good to be here today. I would say my arms are tight, but I only have one of them. That's why.
Rabbit.
What happened to his second arm?
Yeah, seriously, what the fuck?
You know, Cable only has one metal arm. That's why. So he can't say his arms are tired because one would never get tired because it's metal and it just flaps around in the breeze like Liefeld drawing.
Bucky ripoff.
Yet again, Deadpool 2 happening in the future as we record this. Not the movie we're talking about today. We're talking about the other Josh Brolin movie where he's entirely CGI.
As of this recording, catch Deadpool 2 on Blu-ray.
Shut up, Rap. Also not wrong. And we're and we're also joined this episode for the first time outside of like random super show shenanigans of a man who is minute by minute breaking down a movie by our favorite director, Zack Snyder. Eric Nash. Eric joining us on today's program, the co-host of the Watchmen Minute. Eric, what's going on, man?
Hey, glad to be here, Ian.
Yeah, good to have you. Thanks for being around.
Normal, maybe show.
Yeah, right. As normal as our shows get. Let's put it that way. Actually, a last-second replacement. We were going to have a longtime fan of the show, Stephen Broom, on, but he unfortunately was not able to join us today. I'll have to check my email as we're recording this because he may have very well sent us an email with his thoughts on the movie. And if he did, we'll read it at the end of the episode. But either way, hope to have you on soon one way or another, Stephen. But here we are. In this episode, we're eventually going to get to talking about Infinity War, but first we've got a little bit of random news topics to discuss. And that is what we will do to begin this episode. Specifically, some renewals that have been happening around the television world that I want to touch on, at least briefly here. The show that Brandon hates, I love, and Raph adores, Gotham, has been renewed for a 5th and final season that will be starting next year. And I believe it's going to be a full 22, not a truncated 13. So hopefully they'll have enough time to actually go through it. Brandon, I swear to God it gets better.
You better, because I tried with that first season. That first season was... I liked the first half until they killed off, I think it was either was it Falcone they killed off in the first season?
No. Falcone's still around later on, so he's not the one that they killed off.
Which one was the other one?
I forget.
One of the other crime heads, and I was
Yeah.
like, oh. And then it just got weird. Like I was okay with Balloon Man. I thought it was pretty cool.
Yeah.
But then it just got weirder, and then they introduced Jerome, and I'm like, I said to myself, the second they introduced the Joker in that series, I'm done with it.
Well,
yeah, I know
and
what they did.
And let me tell you this before I ask other people their thoughts on this. They are actually not allowed to call him the Joker because it came down from the higher ups that it would quote unquote dilute their brand if there was a Joker on TV, which is complete horseshit.
More than Gotham already did by putting a 14-year-old in a mask. What the fuck?
They can call the Flash on TV, and they can have the exact same character in the movies, but God forbid they use the Joker on TV.
It's a Bat Embargo Part 2. Oh, wow.
Yeah, I know. It doesn't make any sense to me at all.
They've always been weird about Batman. The Arrow can't even mention Bruce Wayne or something without,
Smallville couldn't.
Actually, they can.
Green Arrow replaced.
Well, they've done it.
Yeah.
But you know what I mean?
In passing, they did. Yeah, they loosened that restriction at least a little bit. But I mean, come on, Superman showed up on Supergirl. Like there's no restriction to that, and
yeah, but Green Arrow basically replaced Batman in Smallville. Let's
did in the
that.
comics, for fuck's sake. He was a Batman clone when he first came, man.
That's true, but like that friendship was meant to be
Arrow
Bruce
Corps?
and Clark, and not Bruce and Oliver.
Yeah, Speedy is totally not
Clark and
Robin.
Oliver.
Totally not
No,
Robin
no.
in any way.
Not at all.
No.
Not Red
The
and
Arrow
Yellow,
Cave,
not at all.
the Arrowmobile.
No, of course not.
No Arrow Cave, no Arrow car. You know.
Yeah, Erica, were you ever a watcher of Gotham? Did you ever give it a go?
I gave it, just to that like Balloon Man or third, fourth episode or so is where I jumped off, and I really have heard these great things later on. You know, that just even right then, right like that fifth episode that got better.
Yeah,
At some point,
it definitely gets better by season 2. Like, it's the same thing with Legends of Tomorrow. Like, you have to, like, sort of get through season 1. You got to grin and bear it or just completely skip it. Like, Raph asked me earlier today if he should just skip it. I'm like, watch it while you're doing something else in the background. And, like, there's occasional good episodes in that first season. Then season 2 gets excellent.
Wait, you're saying you don't like baristas who are now hawk people?
That was weird.
So I'm going to go with no. Yeah,
But last week though, she was just barista. I mean, come on.
jettisoning the Hawks was the smartest thing they fucking did on that show, man.
The guy who played Carter was crap. I did like Shira.
Yeah.
Oh, Falk, what's his face? Yeah, he was terrible.
He was awful.
But no, it gets way better when they introduce new characters. I mean, Steel is excellent.
Yes, he is. Vixen's great also too.
You know, Shaq's great.
Not
Underrated
him.
movie, yeah.
Not Steel.
You mean the guy from the movies? What was
Yeah,
it? Nick
yeah, it's
something?
Steel.
Nick Zano. Yeah.
Nick Zano? Nick
From,
Zano goes
Final
to the
Destination.
movies.
Zano Mano? No, sorry, that's Spano. My mistake.
Oh,
God.
Yes. Love you, Spano. You're out there somewhere.
Live long in peace.
Yes.
Hi, Roy.
Rest in peace.
The other show that got renewed, Brandon's happy about this one. He is actually happy about this one because you're the one who's still watching it, and I need to catch the hell up. Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. got renewed for 13 more episodes today.
They got the Shaft.
Wait, they're bringing Shaft on? Is he going to be there with Steel?
Yeah. Yeah, they're bringing Shaft and Power Man on.
Good. All right, I'm down with that. Let's do it. Let's make it happen, man. I watched that. I mean, they got renewed. Just be happy about that, okay?
Oh, I know. Yeah.
So it's a
Which I
little
think
show that could.
It's gonna be the final.
It's the little show that could. I'm incredibly impressed they got this much out
Yeah.
of it.
Yeah, I mean, this we all know it's gonna be its final season this year, probably.
Probably.
I mean, the ratings weren't as strong as they could have been. They gave it the Friday night death slot, which is
Yeah,
what,
Fridays
10
are
p.m.?
awful.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's doing decent numbers despite that, though.
Mm-hmm.
Maybe they'll move it around again next year. Who knows? But I think they're gonna keep it on Friday nights, though.
It wouldn't surprise me. Yeah. Well, I mean, think about it. Like, I mean, shows like Grimm survived on Fridays for years, but I feel like they never really had expectations for it. They've always had expectations for Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. because it's a Marvel show.
Right.
And I'm surprised it's lasted as long as it has with the crap ratings it has.
Right. Well, I mean, they're doing some amazing stuff on that show, bringing unique characters. For fuck's sake, Graviton. Come on, really?
Never, ever, ever did I ever expect to hear the words Graviton and like live action television.
Yeah. No.
I'll never forgive them for hyping up Lucy Lawless only to kill her in the first episode of the second season.
Yeah. Yeah.
I saw it coming. There was no way she was going to stick around. It didn't surprise me.
I was hoping like 2 episodes. That would have been great, though.
She was done with Spartacus. She could have done it.
Maybe. So you gave up on it forever ago, Brent, right?
Like 4 episodes into the Ghost Rider arc, I was just like, this is not interesting.
Okay.
And I was having a problem. It seemed like they were shooting it really, really dark, like the cinematography.
Mm-hmm.
It's a bunch of white characters on the show, and the only guy I can see is the mechanic guy. I can barely see anybody else, and they're all wearing black suits and stuff. I'm like, hello, can we get some color in this show?
That is ironic.
It was weird, man. And he was the only character I really liked, too.
Who, Mac?
So, yeah, Mac.
Yeah.
Oh, I did like the other guy that got killed, too. I forget what his name was.
Yeah.
Unceremoniously, when they turned him in, he was like an Inhuman when they touched the weird scepter thing.
Oh, yeah, Trip.
Trip. Yeah.
Yes.
that's right.
Yes. Yeah.
He went on to star in season 2 of Unreal. Great show.
And that lasted.
Hey, it's going on a 3rd season.
Oh, good for him. Okay.
He was the suitor. They call him a suitor, not the bachelor. But, so you get a new one of those every time.
Okay. Oh, yeah, right. Okay, now I know what show you're talking about. Okay, that one that's like behind the scenes.
Is it a reality game show type?
It's a drama based on the behind the scenes drama of shooting a show like The Bachelor.
Oh.
Yeah.
And they apparently a lot of it is. I mean, The Bachelor people will say it's all bullshit anyway, but come on.
Yeah, it's it's what happens when behind the scenes stops being polite and starts getting real.
Oh God.
And the other one that I'm happy about that got renewed, by the way, is iZombie, because this season of iZombie has been fucking awesome. I have wanted a show like iZombie in the direction that they went with this season since the 4400 got canceled years ago, where it got canceled on a cliffhanger, which was that the 4400 were going to basically take over a city and make it into their home, with being run entirely by people with powers. And that is essentially what they did in this season of iZombie. Seattle has become a zombie city.
Not much of a stretch, though, in real life.
Yeah, you're right. Because as someone who lived there for a short time, it's always rainy and people walk around like zombies if they don't have their coffee. So it's not too far from the truth. I've really been enjoying this season. I was worried that it was going to get canned, and it's not. It has avoided the Rob Thomas curse yet again, and it continues on. So that makes me very happy. Anybody else watching it? Or am I the lone iZombie zombie here?
I love the show, but I'm 2 seasons behind.
All right, cool.
Because I'm behind on everything.
I binge on Netflix. That's the one I binge on Netflix a lot.
Cool.
Actually, that's my next show. I think I'm going to watch that now.
Oh, yeah, there you go.
I'm going to rip through iZombie.
Yeah, and once the season's over, because of the CW deal, like a week later, it's going to be on there.
Yeah,
anyway.
exactly. So I can just rip through that. By the time I'm done, the next season will be on, and I'll just rip through that.
It may actually be your type of show, Brent. Like it's it's serial, but it's also humorous and manages to have a ongoing plot while at the same time being one and done. So almost like Special Victims Unit, that sort of stuff. Like One Order meets zombies.
It starts off as Zombie Veronica Mars.
Pretty much.
Yeah.
So
Yeah, that's true. Yeah.
Go figure. Who would have thought that one?
Yeah, right.
I tried the first 2 or 3 episodes, and
It wasn't
for me.
Wasn't working for you?
no, I just didn't really understand the concept conceit of it. Because it was the whole like season 1 thing where they're just doing case of the week kind of shit, and the cases weren't that cool. I thought, I don't know.
All right.
I mean, I like the girl, but she just not in that role. I guess I don't know.
Oh, it also becomes like appetizing in the way that Hannibal does after a while. Like by about season 2, they start making more and more appetizing dishes with brains and showing it on the the screen.
Hannibal was an art to itself, though.
Yes,
that was great from episode 1.
Oh, totally, yeah. But I'm more talking about the artful, cooking. It's like, oh wow, that looks really good, but it's made with brains, but it looks really good.
So you're watching it more as a cooking show?
Yeah, a little bit, Eric.
Almost.
Yeah.
I mean, look, who doesn't love brain chow mein? I mean, come on.
Ooh,
that was a good one. Yeah.
Ooh, I'm more of a brains chow fun guy.
Ooh, very good, very good.
Yeah. That
I go for that authentic stuff, not this Americanized stuff.
I like the chicken carbonara. That was a good one too.
Yeah, that's pretty tasty. That's pretty yummy.
Brain fortune cookies.
I knew you were going to slip in Mandarin. I was just
They
waiting.
sound
for the moment.
Chinese. They look Chinese. But they're actually an American invention. That's why they're hollow, full of lies, and leave a bad taste in your mouth.
All right, shut up, Trevor. All right, so
President
we're
Ellis,
all right.
I'm trying to teach you a lesson.
Trevor, shut the hell up. Okay, come on, we're moving on. We're moving on. For
Oh
this.
Jesus, we invited him.
Underrated movie.
I made a huge mistake.
Yeah, you did.
Arrested Development coming soon. I wanted to touch on Free Comic Book Day a little bit before we get into the main topic at hand. As both Eric and I attended. Brent, did you make it at all? Were you there, or were you busy?
I went to Free Comic Book Day.
Cool.
Yes.
So how did your experience go?
You know, all of our stores are kind of like, I mean, except for the one that's downtown in the mall, they're kind of smaller, I guess. Like even JHU is bigger than some of the stores. So I went to a comic shop, which Bleeding Cool posts his videos from time to time on their weekly
store is that?
releases thing. So he's rejiggered the shop since the last time I went into it. And being in the shop, I haven't been in the shop in a year, at least since last Free Comic Book Day, to be quite honest. And it just made me realize that this is not my place anymore.
Yeah.
I guess if you could say. I mean, I've gone digital since 2011. So the actual physical books don't appeal to me anymore.
Is that
All the
is that
trades
a
and-
comic shop, by the way, or is that something else?
That's a comic. It's called a comic shop.
Yeah, I know
End
them.
quote.
Yeah.
I know them from my
Yeah.
from my previous job.
Yeah, he goes to all the retailer summits and shit like that.
Cool.
The owner's Aaron is a pretty cool guy, but just the clientele was not. Just made me realize like these are not my people. This is not my scene. That kind of
Stereotypical?
stuff.
Were they stereotypical?
I don't know.
or-
It's just I consider myself a big time nerd and stuff like that. Especially the people I talk to at work
Yeah.
all come to me as the nerd. And then I realize I am low on this nerd spectrum compared to some of the people I saw at a Free Comic Book Day.
I mean, were they
It was-
were they flipping through every copy of the free books to try to find one without the crease? Like, what was the deal?
They weren't that bad. It was
Okay.
just the other. I always forget that there's all of these other weird like geek niches and stuff, and then just the way that these people don't. Not these people. There are.
What do you
listeners,
mean, these
probably.
What do you mean these people?
That's
People
my
that
line.
were at a comic shop early
Yeah.
in the morning
Right.
were not very socially adept. Let's put it that way.
those
That
people.
is fair. Okay. Because
So-
Brent, you know what I was about to do. Not to cut you up, but you know what I was about to do. I was about to bring us back to a lovely time at MegaCon where we were walking through the halls and a
Oh,
chant began.
dear
Oh
God.
Jesus!
Because that's
Don't
immediately
remind me.
where my brain went. Like
God, I still have nightmares about that.
Yuri, Yowie, Yuri.
Yeah,
Yeah, it was. If you've been to MegaCon, you know what the scene is down here.
Yeah.
There's a lot more of those type people than people like me necessarily.
Fair enough.
And that's okay, but But anyway, he's redone his shop. He bought the shop, or not bought, but is renting out the shop next door, and then the back of the two shops expand into the Geek Easy, which is this bar. But
Oh, that's awesome. That's cool. That's cool.
it looks cool on his videos and stuff when he's in the Geek Easy.
Yeah.
But it's like just one area of it is done up really nice, and the rest of it is very slapdash.
Okay.
Yeah.
So you don't walk into the Geek Easy, and he had both places open with different things in different areas, but one was the nice stuff and one was like the junk stuff. But walking in, you just didn't feel like it was something like, oh yeah, it's like I got a great idea, let's do this, and you just kind of do it a little bit because you're not fully funded to do it all the way.
Yeah.
And that kind of stuff. So his store's nice, but he doesn't carry any back issues. His trades are all bagged. There's no trade wall or anything. They're all like next to the regular issues and stuff.
Okay.
So if you're looking at Avengers, you're looking at Avengers trades and then Avengers issues, and
Yeah.
it's not the way I would do it.
Got it.
That's
Yeah, no, that's
fine.
pretty-
That's not my store.
Yeah.
Whatever.
Reminds me a little bit of one of the stores that I went to, but I want to hear Eric's Free Comic Book Day experience first, and then I'll roll into mine. Eric, how'd yours go?
Well, yeah. Actually, based, just talking about the space of the store that I go to is the only place I went this time. They did start to kind of remodel a little bit like 2 or 3 months ago, and just opening the space up with the neighboring spaces that they already had. They just didn't have ways to get from the one to the other except for going outside and going in the other doors.
Yeah.
But so I think that really actually helped for a big day like Free Comic Book Day usually is. There in the past, it's been really crowded and really just hard to move around in.
What's the name of the shop?
But this year was so much better. I think because of that.
What's the name of
They
the
were
shop?
just able to. It's Bell Book and Comic.
Okay.
Oh,
And
Bell.
they're in
Yeah,
Dayton.
I know them. I know them from my
Yeah.
previous job.
Yep. Cool. Yeah. Pete
I'm going to
Bell's
say
good
that a
guy,
lot.
and John is his second in command in a sense. And
Mm-hmm.
both good guys and know what they're talking about. And just that one thing was very nice this year, and will actually make me want to probably in future years spend even more time looking around. And I did grab some Grant Morrison Doom Patrol and
Nice.
and the for $5 three of those volumes, and
Oh, sweet.
Wow, that's
and then
really
one
good.
other Grant Morrison. That's the what was the one he did like before Multiversity? I think
Oh,
was it the one?
Final Crisis, Seven Soldiers.
No, neither of those. It's more recent than that.
Oh, like
I thought it was before.
for DC?
Yeah.
Huh. I'm trying to think of like another big
If it
crossover
wasn't
that he
before,
did.
then it being after that, it's really crazy that they had that down. And that was a hardcover too.
His Action Comics run?
No.
Huh. Yeah, well, I can't possibly think. Oh, I mean, unless it was like way before. Like, I mean, he did DC 1 Million back in the day.
No.
That's like in the late 90s.
Yeah. Well, whatever it is. you picked it up.
Multiversity was like 2014, 2015.
Yeah.
So I don't think the thing he did previous to that was his Action Comics run. The thing he did before that was Final Crisis. If
Okay.
I remember right.
Yeah.
Okay. All right. Well, it's something.
Oh, that's for sure.
Well, Final Crisis.
How many books were they giving out free?
They generally give out for the past few years at least 8 books.
Nice.
Ooh,
Yeah,
wow, geez,
and then
that's
they
not
then they even added in the one I think at least at the table in the back where they do that, which I didn't have to go to because I'm a file customer. They have it in my file.
Oh, that's sweet of
at the
them.
front. And you can pick it up later in the week. You don't have to go there that day.
Yeah.
That's really nice of
So
them.
I'm glad I went and I got those Grant Morrison books and a couple other single floppies
Cool.
too, but for really dirt cheap. They even additionally were seemingly giving away a 9th one, I think, too. For a lot of people, like they're saying, like, "Oh, you can get one more if you want."
All right.
You know,
Hey, that's
and actually, one of those, it seemed like they put in the DC Nation #0.
yeah. And that DC Nation was a really, really weird idea for DC. That the fact that it technically cost 25 cents and came out before Free Comic Book Day, but pretty
was
much
weird.
everywhere I went was giving it out for free because it
Right.
was right in there with everything. Like it didn't. That was a very
Yeah.
interesting choice by DC.
The TV,
Well, and I think we all
yeah.
know that the free comics actually cost the stores a little bit of money.
Yes, they do. Yes,
I know how much it costs them.
Yeah.
I won't say. I'm not allowed to
Pennies.
say.
it's pennies. I mean,
No,
I mean,
it's more than pennies, but
Uh-huh.
it's less than you think.
okay.
I can't say anymore.
All right.
I've already said too much. They're coming for me.
Oh,
Oh
they're-
God.
They're coming for me.
They're inside. The call is coming from inside the house. Oh God. Yeah.
No, the store that I work for, the small tiny shop.
We know you work for Midtown Comics.
come on.
Damn it. They gave away, so they had their own marketed ones where like they put DC printed their logo onto the front cover. Those Midtown gave away the first one for free to customers.
Oh, okay.
So yeah, most people I think were giving them for free.
That's cool.
Because it probably cost them like if it's 25 cents, it probably cost them, I don't know, 10 cents, maybe 15 cents.
Yeah. And I read DC Nation #0 as Brent well knows because I downloaded it to his account.
Yeah, I read it too.
Because I mean, hell, it was free.
Not on my account.
Yeah, yes, I did. I remember.
No, I'm talking to Raph.
Oh yeah.
Oh
that's
no,
true.
I bought it. I got it for free from work. So
Yeah. And I liked it. I mean, it was a good. I think it was a good 3 stories that they fit in there. The Bendis one was decent enough, and
that was my weakest one.
Yeah,
actually, no, the Justice League one was kind of like weird too.
But it was.
Well, it goes into the No Justice.
yes.
Right. I still haven't read
That
the first
one.
issue. No
yeah.
Justice.
And the first
And that,
one.
I really enjoyed that.
Okay.
yeah.
The two together. I read the DC Nation 0 first,
I'll,
and that, and I think that was the right way to do it. But
yeah.
I'll pick it up
It
from the
was-
shop
it was
and
interesting.
I'll
I'll read it later.
Yeah. The first story was John's story, right? If I remember
It was the
correctly?
Joker story.
The Joker story, right? With
That was
yes, that
good.
was excellent.
That was
Yes,
really good.
Yes, yeah, that was really freaking good. Shockingly, this Tom King guy knows how to write comics.
Tom King,
Tom
who's
who?
that?
Yeah,
Never met him before.
never heard of him. Never spoken to him.
Never got a
met
free book
him.
from him. I don't know what you're talking about.
Tom Queen. I know Tom Queen. Yeah.
Yes, yes,
Right, the guy who Oliver Queen's based on.
Yes, you have failed the
Right.
city.
Yeah.
Yeah. And Brent, how many were they giving away at yours?
5.
Okay.
That's not bad.
All right, that's pretty good. I did a walking tour of Manhattan essentially. Like I went and sold a couple books at there's this Japanese used bookstore in Manhattan called Book Off. So I went ahead and sold like an assload of stuff to there because I had some old like they do books, they do video games, they do trade paperbacks, and they do a whole like manga and pretty much everything. So I just went with a giant ass bag and wound up selling all that large amount of stuff for $50. It's like Funko Land still exists and it comes in the form of used bookstores. So I got 50 for that, and then decided to then spend that 50 almost immediately in the 3 stores that I went to.
Ian Levinstein's The Walking Tour.
Essentially, started off because this started off on like 47th in Manhattan, and then walked myself over to Montesey 2nd. Which is a more of a gaming shop than it is a comic shop.
It's also their only shop.
Oh, really?
The one in Forest Hills closed.
Really?
Someone told me that. I was shocked.
I did not know that. So
Yeah.
Montesey 2nd is now just Montesey's 1st.
Yeah, and they used to be one of mine way back in my other job.
Anyway,
I keep saying that.
yeah,
You're a
lot of-
fucking CIA agent. Jesus Christ.
yeah,
I know.
trust me, we don't want him mentioning that because then Rich Johnston will find out. But anyway,
Oh, Jesus, Rich Johnson.
Oh my God! Do not. No, stop.
listen. I'm talking to Robert Mueller. We're gonna get it taken care of.
all
Don't
right,
worry
all
about
right,
it.
good.
Are we missing a joke here?
Fake news, sad.
Well, you said CIA. I mean,
Yeah.
part of Mueller investigation.
Exactly. So went to Montesey. They were I think they were giving out 4 there if I remember correctly. And by the time I got there, they did not have a lot left. Grabbed what I could, but they were having a buy 2 get 1 free trade sale.
Not bad.
So I wound up getting what was it? I think I got from there the Batgirl and the Birds of Prey Volume 2, Rainbow Rolls Runaways Volume 1, and
That's the new series, right?
yes, it is.
Yeah.
I've read the first 6 digitally. And
I like it.
It's really good.
I like it a lot.
It definitely has the feel of the Runaways downright.
Yeah, yeah, definitely.
And I figured I might as well just pick up the trade so that other people I know can read it.
Not enough
And,
Darkhawk.
Yeah, we'll get there. We'll get there, Chief. Don't worry.
Okay.
So at some point you'll get your Darkhawk.
Yes,
all right?
I will.
You're the one who's asking for it.
Yes, I am.
The only one.
No, there's 3 of us.
All right, fine.
We're a fan club.
Maybe he'll show up in the Cloak and Dagger show on Freeform.
Oh God, please, please.
And I picked up America Volume 2, the end of that series, just so I needed to pick it up eventually. Then made my way to JHU at their new location. This is the 3rd location for Jim Hanley's. This new one is way smaller than any of the previous ones. They're going for more of like a community shop feel
nice,
with
though.
this. It is
walk
very
by
well. It's very well laid out, and they utilize the space as well as they can. But you can definitely tell that it's a downsize from the previous one.
Yeah.
But they had an Indiegogo campaign to help get this store up and running and help build a new bathroom for it and stuff like that. And they did actually do really, really well in that campaign. And everything's all up and running now. They had, I think, 4 or 5 books they were giving away at a time at this one as well, and a 25% off sale. So I got myself the Volume 1 of The Legend of Korra, a comic, because I was looking forward to seeing where that was going to continue things after that series left off. So then I got that.
So good.
Yes, I didn't get a chance to read it yet because I lent it to a friend of ours. But once that's back, I'll go ahead and give it a shot.
So good.
And then I finished the day off at Forbidden Planet in Union Square, and they had a line down the block. Their line was not inside the actual shop. You basically walked into the store, got your free comics, and then you could browse if you wanted to. By then, I had spent pretty much all the money that I wanted to spend, so I didn't actually buy anything there. But they were giving away. Not only were they giving away free comics, but they also seemed to be giving away some stuff in their back issue bins that they didn't want anymore. So it was more like 6 comics or 7 comics, but you didn't get to choose. It was prepackaged. So whatever they gave you is what you got. But there was definitely, like, the Marvel one was in there, the DC Nation was definitely in there, and a couple of the other, easy to find ones.
Yeah,
were
similar
in
to
that.
what Midtown did.
Yeah, basically. So it was a good day in general. And then I met up with this schlub and we had dinner afterwards, and that was that.
Yeah, we did. Yeah, I didn't end up working Free Comic Book Day. I did stop by the store for a little bit.
Yeah.
That place was packed. So what they do is they put the truck out front, and then they park a tent right outside the back of it, and they put a couple tables up, and they hand that stuff out. I showed up around noon, right before I DM'd my first session of D&D, and
Congratulations.
thank you.
We know.
Yeah, I don't shut up. That's my new thing now.
I should make him roll to talk from now on. I think.
Ooh.
Yeah,
Wait,
it's
Roll for
19 or
talking
above.
initiative, right?
Yeah, right.
What do you call it? So yeah, I stopped by. It was the store was crowded despite the fact that there weren't a lot of books being handed out. It was, so that's obviously a good thing.
Yeah.
It's good that DHU and Forbidden are pretty crowded too. So
Definitely. Yeah.
yeah. But yeah, it's I got all my books because I work there,
Yeah.
so it's nice and handy.
Did you get the Ghost in the Shell book?
I got everything.
Oh, you did. Okay.
What Midtown does is when they get their free comic books, they pack everything up into bags along with like a coupon for a sale that happens later in the week and like some other promo stuff. And they do that at the warehouse, and then they sit in boxes until like the day before, and then the truck comes in the day before or the night of, I think, or morning of, I don't know. And then they park it out, and then they hand them out. So they all get prepackaged by a bunch of guys. I used to do that. I used to actually pack the bags for them, but I'm not. I'm much too valuable for that.
Yes.
No, I'm just not able to do it anymore.
No, you're on the bench.
Yeah, I'm on the bench. That's why I didn't go. That's why I didn't work it. But
Yep.
yeah. So it's good to see everyone. It sounds like everyone's busy and
Yeah.
productive. So
It sounded like a good free comic book day
Yeah.
for the most part across the board.
the movie helped.
Yeah, exactly. The movie did help, and
What movie?
yes, the movie that we're going to discuss here on the show. Were there?
We are.
Yes.
I was not prepared for this.
Yeah,
I haven't seen
sorry.
it yet.
God,
You had an infinity of choices
I know.
and chances to.
it was a war getting into the theater though. That's why.
It really
Proton
was.
cannon!
Yeah.
Jesus.
There was sand all over my seat when I sat down too, and that was uncomfortable.
God.
But
My ass, I kept snapping also too.
God. All right, let's get into it. Screw it.
Fine, rub it.
All right. Marvel Infinity War. Marvel Avengers Infinity War, that is. Directed by the Russos, same guys who did Civil War and Winter Soldier. Civil War.
And Modern Warfare.
And Modern Warfare?
That's community episode.
Oh,
Modern Warfare.
right. Yes, you're right. Yes. The directors of
Paintball's
Paintball. Yes. 70 more episodes of Rick and Morty. Who would have thought? That's going to be interesting. But yeah, so
boy.
this was a movie that took 10 freaking years to happen, and I feel like it pretty much succeeded in anticipation. We only got bits and pieces of Thanos leading up to this. We only got like snippets to really get to know the character, and by the time this movie was over, I felt like we had a fully formed villain, which has been what Marvel has been trying to do with the past couple of movies, is give you a villain you actually gave two shits about. And by the time this was over, I cared about Thanos, and I felt like I might have even like shed a tear with him at times during this piece, and that was something I was not expecting. I was expecting to like this movie. I was not expecting to love it as much as I did. And I really, really did feel like this was the perfect culmination. I'm going to start with our guest first. Eric, your general opinions on the movie.
Oh yeah, I mean I've been waiting for it. It really seemed like it was bound to happen that this big bad Thanos guy, which I've never really read the Avengers comics. I mean, very, very, very little. Mm-hmm. Picked up a few here or there, but
Yeah.
Hearing about them and seeing them just little bits really did do a number on me, in preparation for this movie because I have loved so many of the previous Marvel movies. I mean, every now and then there was a little bit of that wasn't that great, but looking at you, Dark World.
Yeah.
Hey, Ragnarok more than made up for Dark World in my opinion.
Oh my God, yeah.
Because that's what heroes do.
Yes. Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, and they really bring in, I mean, from all the comedy that is in that Ragnarok, and there was an awfully lot of good comedy in this one too.
Yeah.
But the stakes of it all and the realization of Thanos as a really a villain that you kind of do understand what he's saying at points. He's making some cases.
Yeah.
He's making a case. He's arguing.
And he's not doing it all for the love of a skeleton named Death in this movie, which works in the comics. I can understand why they did not want to do that here in the movies because
you can't do a pure adaptation because you'd have to bring in Eternity,
sure,
Lord's Order and Chaos, Mistress Love and Master Hate. How do you explain all these cosmic beings that are like physical representations of everything? Like I'm the universe in the human form. What's up, guys?
Were you seriously expecting to see as much of Jonathan Hickman's Infinity on the screen, and yet they somehow managed to do that?
I love that.
Yeah.
I love Infinity. I think I'm one of the few people who absolutely, really, truly loves Infinity.
Oh, I love it too, man. It's a damn good comic.
I get mixed reviews from people.
Yeah.
But I also, work where I work, and I have to deal with people yelling at me all the time. So.
Come on, man. It was the culmination of Hickman's entire
It was
run with
Avengers
Marvel.
Star Wars.
Yes.
It was freaking awesome.
Yeah.
Especially that scene where Thor just throws his hammer away. He's like, okay, I'm going to kneel. By the way, I'm not a man. Wham! And just pulls the hammer through a freaking like creator of the universe. And it's just like, what?
I may just have to reread it all on Unlimited sometime.
I have it. I have it in hardcover and in softcover and the single issues.
Of course you do.
Because I'm that fanboy.
Yes, you are. Let's move over to Brandon here. Brandon, general thoughts.
I've seen it once so far, and I've been having this problem of trying to contextualize how I feel about the film. Like, I know it's good, but it's hard putting into words exactly what I liked about this movie. And like, there is this from the get-go, there was this overall sense of dread from me about the movie. I thought I knew Marvel had their track record of making $1 billion movies, but I was thinking, could they really stick the landing for this film?
Yeah.
And holy shit, did they ever?
Oh my God, yes.
This is like the amount of acrobatics they had to do to make every scene that feel weighted was amazing.
Yeah.
And kudos to the Russo brothers because, they've done three of the best Marvel movies so far.
Definitely.
Civil War, hands down, is a great movie. But I mean, The Winter Soldiers, where they showed that they could actually handle a movie with such a massive scope, and make sure every character is nuanced and make sure every character gets their moment.
Yeah, and I worried about that going in, because I mean, this was going to have even more characters in it than Civil War, and I still genuinely felt like no one was really getting the short shrift except for those who were not in the movie, Hawkeye and Ant-Man, which hopefully one or both of them will play an important role in whatever the second movie is going to be called. My money is still on Disassembled, just because that seems to make sense because of what happened at the end of this movie with everyone actually legitimately getting disassembled.
I'll
Hawkeye
talk about it later.
Shooting tag.
Oh, God.
And Ant-Man was too busy shooting that crappy Duncan Jones movie on Netflix, Mute.
You're right. Actually, he was probably prepping for his own movie, because that's shot not too far after these
good
movies
point.
did.
Yeah, they probably take place almost simultaneously.
More than likely. Yeah.
So yeah, there was definitely some overlap between Ant-Man and the Wasp in this movie.
Definitely. Yeah. But
If you shrink down to ant size while you're dissolving, does it stop the dissolving?
that is
Is it
a
because you're an
good
insect?
question.
That's a good question, and we may find out at the end of the movie. by the time Ant-Man and Wasp is over, because I'm thinking that their post-credit scene is probably going to be when time catches up, because that movie is taking place before in Infinity War. It would make sense for that to be the catching up moment. Someone's going to dissolve, and I think it's probably going to be Hank. That seems to make the most sense.
No.
I know. But anyway, Brent, for those who have not listened to your YouTube thoughts on it, your thoughts on the movie.
I loved it. I thought it was great. Absolutely loved it.
All right, that's it, guys. Good night, everybody. We're
Okay.
Well, actually, I think
mean,
the movie.
So I think this was Marvel's best villain by far. One thing I realized, I rewatched every Marvel movie. I tried to go once a week. I failed in that, but there were some weeks where I did do like 2 a week, 3 a week, whatever. But
I got through Iron Man and the Incredible Hulk.
Well, this is why you had to spread it out over 4 months.
I know,
basically, because it was a task just to watch one movie a week.
Oh yeah.
But watching them all, I realized that up until now, everybody said Loki was the best Marvel villain. You watch Loki and Thor, he's not that great a villain.
Yeah.
You watch him in Avengers, he's very one note. So it's really until Thor: The Dark World, which is the most hated Marvel movie.
He gets the most development in that movie.
He gets the most development in that movie. So the Loki everybody loves is not the Loki from the good movies, quote unquote. It's the Loki from the Dark World, which is not that good.
Right.
Strange.
Well, no, actually,
But-
people loved him before
No,
that.
Doctor.
So I don't know what it is. Like, I remember watching Thor, and, like, he's all over the place.
He is.
Like, I think that's what it was, because he was constantly lying and scheming and manipulating that people loved that. I don't know.
We had our first name drop of God of Mischief in this movie. Like, he hadn't really been called that until here.
They dropped the mischief word, but never the God word.
Yeah.
Right. Oh, no, they dropped the God word, too, but they never dropped them in the same sentence.
Fair enough. Yeah.
I think so to follow up on that, I'm going somewhere with this, but
I'm sure you
follow
are.
me here. I think Red Skull was the best villain in most of those Marvel movies
Oh, I can't wait to talk about
until
him.
we get to Thanos.
Thanos
Had a great
reasonable.
arc, great development. He really believable, and he wasn't one note the entire time. And he didn't show up on Earth and like sneer and be like, "Bow before me." You know, he wasn't Steppenwolf in Justice League, which was nice. He was just like, "Hey, I'm here to do a job. I'm a guy doing a thing, and you're in my way."
Wait. I've been saving this. You guys, I just watched a movie where Earth's greatest heroes gathered together to battle a threat from beyond the stars as he attempts to gather together the most powerful items in the universe to try and destroy Earth and everything as we know it. But enough about Justice League, you guys. Let's talk about Infinity War.
And you know what? Just a minor rant. The success of Infinity War and the Marvel Cinematic Universe makes me lament the failure of the DC Cinematic Universe so much more. Like, if all they had to do was copy the formula, introduce each character one at a time, thread some hints in about a big bad, and then after this at the 7th movie with Justice League, then you can maybe do Steppenwolf. Maybe you don't do Steppenwolf.
but
you do someone else, and then at the end of the credits, you have Darkseid be like, "Oh, I like this."
You could have done Justice League back when George Miller was going to do Justice League.
Yeah, when there was no universe.
Yes, exactly.
That's the thing.
You
It's either do it fresh or do it slow build.
100%. You could have just done a Justice League movie. Had you not had Man of Steel and then attempted to then build the universe off of just that one movie.
Yeah, that was a problem.
Then you probably would have been fine. You could have introduced Justice League and then started doing your solo movies and been okay. But that's not what they decided to do. They decided to half-ass it and try to force a universe, and that
was the
issue.
biggest problem with BVS. Was it was so all over the place. There was no coherent storyline except we got to get these two guys to fight. And we got to get them to team up.
And you know what? I did not want this episode to become this, so we're going to go ahead and end this conversation here and go back to talking
Let's
about
skip it.
about
Let's skip
Infinity
this
War.
part.
But
It's okay.
Brent,
It's okay.
back to your point. I didn't mean to sidetrack that much.
I thought Thanos is by far the best Marvel villain, hands down. It's going to be hard to beat him. And I thought the CGI. It's weird. It's another CGI villain. It worked this time. He's a big purple guy. the CGI was very good for the most part. There were some times where I was like, at least on Thanos, I was like, yeah, they didn't spend enough money on this shot as they should have.
Thanos
like,
versus
there was a couple
Hulk.
mid shots where Thanos looked a little more rubbery than than normal.
Thanos versus Hulk is when I noticed it the most. When it was two CGI characters fighting each other, that's when you really noticed that there was something off a little bit.
Yeah, well, there was for what's weird was though is for as much as this movie cost to make, there were some terrible CGI shots. Banner in the Hulkbuster
Yeah,
suit at
that's
the
the
very
very
end.
Yes.
Yeah.
He sticks out like a sore thumb. Rhodey, I saw it a second time, and Rhodey sticks out in that same scene. Robert Downey Jr. is just getting fucking lazier and lazier and lazier. I thought it was bad in Civil War, but this was just atrocious. And Iron Spider's in a motion capture suit the entire time. Spider-Man.
That I didn't mind.
I know, that looked okay.
Yeah.
I will give it to the Russos though. Bravo for putting Black Panther back in a real suit.
Yes.
Like he has mask off. You could see the thing around his neck was like doubled up, like they curled it under.
Yeah.
I was like, that looks awesome. He had real gloves on, real claws. And then the shots where he was like yelling on the radio, it was a real guy in a suit in a real mask.
Yeah.
As opposed to the all digital Black Panther at the end of his own movie, which I thought sucked.
Yeah.
But not the movie, just the digital Black Panther. I thought.
Yeah,
was
at
rubbery
times
in
it was
that
a bit
movie.
rubbery. Yeah, I will agree with that.
Definitely. Yeah.
I
Well,
mean, usually the biggest deterrent to CG is daylight shots, and for the most part, since Thanos was pretty much well lit the entire film, it especially on like Titan, he looked amazing there, and like, the little things he does, the little nuances of his face, the little facial tics were just spot on. Also,
it helps that Josh Brolin, in and of himself, is a very animated man.
right?
Like he's got the square jaw, he's got the facial expressions. He's very like square muscular wise. So they really didn't have to do much to change him into Thanos, like other than add like frickin' like facial ridges and make him sort of purplish pink. Like that's Thanos right there. Like they didn't have to do much compared to say when we saw Josh Brolin Thanos for the first time in what was it, Guardians?
Guardians, yeah.
Like
Yeah.
first full appearance was in Guardians.
And that just looked weird.
yeah.
it looked
sitting in
super
the chair.
CG.
Yeah, it did, and it's way less that now, probably because of the combinations that they're using of man in suit on the on the stage combined with CGI combined with everything else.
I bet they only did face capture for him in Guardians
You're probably right.
because he sat, he didn't move.
Yeah, that's probably the case. I wanted to ask everybody also. Did everybody go in unspoiled?
Yes.
Yes.
Yep.
Yes.
Okay. All right, good. Because you should have heard, I did as well the first time around. When I saw it the second time, it was Raph's third time, and he cackled like a motherfucker at the end of the movie at everyone's pain. Seeing it for the first time. Like, I basically turned to him and said, "You have no soul."
I don't. It's in the Soul Stone.
Evil motherfucker.
It's in the Soul Stone, guys.
But-
where do you think it went?
Easily.
How do you think I survived?
Easily beyond a shadow of a doubt.
There's
Yep.
a version of this movie where I want to see Raph as Red Skull's part.
Oh my god!
Cackling like a motherfucker.
Right? You can never get the Soul Stone, Thanos. Oh shit!
I'm sitting there in the Bronx watching this movie, and when Red Skull came on the screen, I audibly went, "Holy shit!"
I
I did too.
I just
too. And I
didn't
spent-
scream, but I
spent
went,
the whole-
"Oh shit! They did it!
Yeah.
Oh my god! They did it!"
I spent the whole scene trying to figure out if it was really Hugo Weaving or not.
So
it
did
was
I.
not.
Yeah, we all
It was
did.
not,
Yeah,
though.
Yeah, it was.
I didn't find out till after my third time that it wasn't Hugo Weaving.
Yeah, I'm the one who had to tell him.
Yeah, I could not believe. I thought he sounded weird, but I didn't realize it wasn't him.
Yeah,
So I thought originally it was Liam O'Brien who did Hugo Weaving's Red Skull for the Avengers cartoon,
Oh, okay.
but it
love
turned out it was
Liam.
what's his face from The Walking Dead. I'm like, oh,
Yeah.
that's
Ross
Ross
Marquand.
Yeah, thank
yeah,
you.
that's a pretty spot on.
The Walking Dead.
He does a bunch of impressions.
I've
They're
seen- yes.
all on YouTube,
Yes.
so he's very good.
yeah, no, and
Very good voice actor
yeah.
for sure.
He was definitely on point, and it's just I knew that there were going to be surprises in this movie. I was not expecting that.
No.
I was thinking, like, are we going to get Betty Ross? Like, that could have been a possibility. Are we going to get, like, Emil Blonsky back? Like, that could have been a possibility. But was not expecting Red Skull just because I know that Hugo Weaving didn't want to come back. And, like, okay, so let's recast him. And, like, all right, that's definitely the way to do it. Yeah.
Just give him a German accent and
You're right.
You give him the costume and that's Arnold. Sorry.
Yeah, that's Arnold.
That's
I don't do
Austrian.
German.
That's
Yeah.
Just stop.
Yeah, sorry, man.
But yeah, just give
he's
a guy makeup
he's
and
not
that's
gonna
it.
put his face back on.
Yeah, you're right.
Somehow.
Exactly. Yeah. And if he does, it'll just be a different disguise. Like, that's it.
Yeah.
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 In fact, hell, if they really want to, they could probably. Well, okay, I still say the entire time I was watching Winter Soldier, I was waiting
Del
for.
Rusk?
Yeah, I was waiting for Rusk to take off his head and have it be the Red Skull underneath.
Yeah.
There's a version of that script out there somewhere where that's exactly what happened. I almost guarantee you. But I came in completely surprised, and the ending of this is Marvel's Empire Strikes Back
Yeah, it is.
yes.
Oh yeah.
in every single way. Because when people walked out of the theater,
It was
After-
silent.
yeah.
In mine.
Oh, dude,
like a
I got
freaking
stories to
tomb.
tell you
Yes.
guys.
yeah, yeah. And I was thinking to myself, and I don't know if you guys felt the same thing, but like I was thinking to myself, oh my God, they're not going to do a last scene.
They didn't.
I thought to myself, like, when I saw that the mid credit scene just fade to dust like that and then not do it, I legitimately thought that they were just going to end the movie with the Avengers will return at the end and not have a end credit scene at all.
Actually, someone did spoil
I
me
had
on that.
seen
Okay.
an article that said there was one.
Yeah,
Okay.
someone said there was only one stay after the credits.
Okay.
So I
Hey,
did get
a
spoiled.
movie's
on that.
Yeah.
2.5 hours long.
Yeah.
I think you're allowed to look up if there is a cred scene or not, because man or
That's
woman's
fair.
got to pee.
I had to pee. I had like 3 refills of like iced tea the second time I'd seen it.
Yeah, and then you were well, I'm surprised you made it through ours. Like you were drinking vitamin water like crazy when we saw the.
Yeah, but I also was like a little dehydrated that day.
That's fair. Okay.
So and I did a little more walking that
Yeah.
day, so I was ready.
And I highly appreciate the fact that Alamo Drafthouse, the second time that I saw it, had a Avengers special menu, which included a Hulk burger with guacamole.
That looked good.
Did look really good. There was a like an Avengers pizza, which had like the best toppings you could have on a pizza, all combined on a pizza. And they
And
also
it was
had,
a pizza.
Yes, and they also had I Am Fruit milkshake,
Ooh.
which was completely delicious. That made me very happy.
Not anymore, it isn't.
Yeah. But let's talk about, because I think our overall thoughts on this movie is that it was very, very good.
Meh, actually.
Well, yeah, Brandon, let me and I want you to see it a second time before it's out of theaters, and I'm sure you will, just so that you can see maybe if like once you see it a second time you think it any different, because I same thing's happened to me on multiple occasions with multiple movies. Like Iron Man 3 I like better the second time around. What did you not like? What did not work for you in this movie?
I mean, it's hard. It's really hard to nitpick this movie sometimes.
You don't have to nitpick it.
No,
you
I'm
don't.
not going. I
Yeah,
don't,
you don't,
I
yeah,
don't
it's a
really
choice.
can. But I mean,
You seem to like it as a package, but there's parts of it that you didn't enjoy. That's what I'm wondering. Like what is it that
No,
makes you feel cold? Like
no. For me, I'm getting to this point now where I'm trying not to be wowed by movies right away.
Mm-hmm.
And it happened to me when we talked about The Last Jedi.
yeah.
I trying not to be swayed by pretty packages from movies.
Mhm.
You know, where a movie, like for example, like getting burned on all the DC stuff. You know, where a movie looked good on the outset, going into it, you're ultimately disappointed. Where I think, like I said before, it's hard for me to really contextualize my words about this film because I feel such an emotional attachment to this film.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, it's been 10 years of my life. I've been watching Marvel movies. You know.
Yeah.
I can tell you exactly where I was when I saw Iron Man 1 back in 2008.
I saw the footage for Iron Man 1 at San Diego Comic-Con and lost my shit. Yeah,
wow.
I remember that.
I was
So, I
working
mean,
in Midtown.
Yeah.
So Marvel's been in the zeitgeist for 10 years now, and that's really freaking impressive, though, because name one other company or one other studio which has been the talk of the town for 10 years straight.
Star
you really
Wars.
can't.
Well, yeah, you can't even say Lucasfilm because that's Disney too. So
everything
now.
yeah,
But, I
And
mean,
it's that it's for a huge majority of those 10 years though too that they've been putting out at least one a year, if not two, and sometimes three.
that's true.
right.
Yeah, you're
You
right.
know.
Yeah.
In the beginning, there was like a missed year, maybe I think, or something.
Yeah. Well, I'm trying to
Nope.
think when Incredible
There
Hulk
was
came
not.
out.
No, there was one. There was one a year.
Yeah.
Hulk and Iron Man came out in the same year.
That's
Yeah.
true.
Well, that's true, but I think
Right.
then the next year, I don't think anything came out though.
Oh, and I'll also
sure.
point out that
No, Iron Man 2 did 2 years after that, I think. You're right.
That's what I'm saying.
yeah. Because Incredible Hulk is part owned by Universal, it's the only movie that you can do disc for digital on Vudu for and get a digital copy for $2. It's the only Marvel movie you can do that with because everything else is owned by Disney and Disney's not part of that plan. So
We don't like that.
yeah, exactly. I was able to get like literally every single DC movie that came out and a whole bunch of the like animated movies off of that plan, but that's beside the point. But anyway, it is a major culmination. You're right, Brandon, and it's something that works so well, but I've had people describe it on other things that I've listened to as a season of a TV show broken down into 2.5 hours.
No, I disagree.
No?
I disagree. There's not that much there.
Okay.
No,
It's-
it's more like a season
it's a
finale.
It's
Like,
it really is a series of vignettes that all tie
yes.
together.
Yeah.
And each character, I feel like, works well because there's not a lot of each character. You don't get overly burnt out on Tony Stark. You don't get overly burnt out on Peter Parker, Doctor Strange. The Guardians, I think, are the most annoying characters in that movie, and they're meant to be. But that movie doesn't make me like the Guardians at all. Other than Gamora did her a lot of favors, I thought.
Drax is fantastic.
But
Drax is fantastic.
Drax was funny, but it was weird watching Guardians 1 and 2 before this, and you're like all in with Star-Lord, and then Star-Lord shows up in this movie, and you're just like, man, why do I like that character? I have no idea.
All right, so I can speak to that actually because this is all right. So that actually jogged my memory about the one thing. I think we forget that Guardians of the Galaxy takes place 2 years prior to Infinity War.
Mm-hmm.
So there's a 2-year jump between Volume 2 till now.
Yes.
And in our mind, that was only 9 months ago, last year.
I'm not even talking that. I'm just talking having rewatched both movies in the last 2 months.
Guardians was the May movie, Brandon. So it is actually a year.
I'm sorry.
Guardians was the May movie last year, so it's a year.
Yep.
Yeah. So
Yeah.
there I go. So I'm getting to your point, Brent. I was actually watching. Does anyone here watch Movie Bob at all on YouTube?
I used to, but once he stopped hiding his Boston accent, I could not listen to a word of him anymore. It's really annoying.
Chow dare.
But yeah, it is. But he broke down something I thought was pretty interesting. A lot of people giving Star-Lord a lot of crap for this movie, and justifiably, yeah, he kind of fucked up big time with snapping out on Gamora, snapping out on Thanos. But he made a very good point: is that up until, all right, so a character who's been defined by loss for most of his life, he's been running from that loss, running from that pain. He was forced to deal with the loss of his mother in the first movie.
Right.
He was forced to deal, with the loss of both his surrogate father and his actual father in the second film. And Gamora does something very important. And I think that's also one of the weird scenes in the movie that, she makes Peter promise on his mother to do what it takes to save her from Thanos.
That was very powerful.
And stop her.
Yeah.
Right. But then you get the relationship stuff, which we haven't been really privy to, because before that we were just, it's a flirtatious thing. But no, it's actually a full-blown romance. That was my one nitpick about this movie. Like, that just felt a little odd. But to my actual point, though, it's when Peter goes and pulls the trigger on Gamora, and Thanos uses the Reality Stone to alter the gun into a bubble shooter for the most part, that is Peter realizing his character arc right there. So he has done his entire character arc in those 2 movies part of this movie until now. That's where his character arc ends. So, of course, when he realizes that Gamora has been taken from him, he's going to have to deal with that loss over again. So his character starts to cycle back over again, which is why
I'm not even like talking about that part. I'm just talking about in general when he's interacting with Thor. It's almost like in those scenes he went from less the kind of cool doofus dude to being like a giant buffoon, and that's where it really kind of turned me off on the character.
I think that's him like.
We're all buffoons compared to Thor. Every single one of us. We're all buffoons compared to Thor. Let's just admit that right now.
In Peter's mind, that's him. You know, he thought he was the cool kid, and then now here's the really cool kid. Here's the actual cool kid coming to interrupt his plans.
Yeah.
So he's going to try to imitate him.
No, son.
It was just something that we'd never seen before, I think, in the Guardians movie, so it didn't feel like it was a setup or payoff.
Well,
Drax thinking he's invisible, yeah, setup, payoff.
Well, let me
consistent.
also add something here. Well, number one, my theater popped so loud both times that I saw it when Rubber Band Man came on, because immediately that's when they knew they were getting Guardians, and that was a perfect transition. The other thing I'll point out is that all of the dialogue for the Guardians were written by the man who works on Guardians of the Galaxy. Like, none of this was the Russos being the Russos here. Like, James Gunn wrote all of their dialogue. So anything that happened in this movie, yes, I know you can lament as much as you want on that, but he's the guy who's made the Guardians of the movies as good as they are. So that's that with that. So anything that happened character-wise with them was all stuff that was signed off on by James. Like, he still has shit he wants to do with these characters come the third movie. So if they were quote-unquote out of character...
as it goes along.
Yeah. I don't know.
Can we just touch on that for a second?
What?
First of all, James Gunn says on Twitter that Baby Groot is not Groot regrown.
Yes.
From the same seed. He is original Groot's son.
Yes.
Which I was like, nowhere in the movie did they set that up. So that feels cheap to me.
Yeah.
Then he goes on Twitter and some fan asks him, "What was the last words?"
That was him fucking with it. That was fucking.
Dad? I'm like, come on.
That was him fucking with
that
everybody.
was totally
come on.
He's not gonna.
It's in the script. Yeah, right.
Yeah.
Come on.
Yeah, no, that's him trolling. He's allowed to do. I troll all the goddamn time.
Yeah, come on. Please.
Oh, I gotta tell you. Sorry, that was loud.
That was loud.
I will. When we get a chance to, I gotta tell you guys stories from the store after Infinity War came out. I got so many good ones.
Okay, but Eric, thoughts and opinions on this track that we seem to be on right now?
Well, if we could go back just a little bit to the Peter, they're messing up.
Yeah.
The very, very seemingly it was about ready to happen. The removing the glove, the gauntlet. So where was Doctor Strange at that point in that fight? Because
he was holding him down with the Crimson Band.
He was on the left arm.
Yeah.
With the bands of Sidorak.
Okay.
Yeah, he was.
But,
yeah.
So prior
he was just
to that,
doing such a good
was
job.
the scene
You didn't need to see him again.
where he talks about all his all the possibilities, right? That was before Thanos showed up.
Yes.
That he figured all these possibilities out, only one where they win. So isn't Peter screwing up part of that one that wins?
No, because Strange gave up in the one where they win, Strange gives up the time stone.
Yeah, I think that's exactly what the movie was setting up.
That's a key part of that.
Yeah.
Because he says we're in the end game now. That's the only. That's how you know this is the Strange wouldn't give up that time. He would have rather let Spider-Man and Iron Man die.
Yeah.
He said as much too.
Yeah. So once he gave the time stone and he says we're in the end game, that's when you're supposed to realize, oh, this was the only way it could have gone down.
Exactly.
Peter was always going to freak out over Gamora's death.
Yeah.
Right.
They were never going to
do that.
Yeah.
Yep.
That's my point.
They were never going to get the Infinity Gauntlet out of his hands.
Definitely. Yeah. That 100% was the direction that they were rolling with that, and that's why I feel like, come next movie, there's
going to be a reckoning.
There's going to be a reckoning, definitely. Yeah.
Also, too, I mean, how awesome would it be? Well, I shouldn't say awesome, but how interesting would it be to see in Guardians of the Galaxy 3 Peter have to deal with the loss of Gamora? You know.
Well, I have theories on that.
Theory away.
Okay, so this is a quick sidebar. So I think what's going to happen is I have a couple theories of what happens in Avengers 4, but one of the theories involves the Soul Stone being one of the solutions, and everyone comes back from it.
You mean Avengers 3, right?
Avengers 4.
No, Avengers 3.
This was Avengers 3.
Oh, right. You're right. Avengers 4. Age of Ultron happened. Sorry,
yeah, Age of Ultron happened. We can't take that back.
I'm sorry.
So we got to deal with it.
So Avengers 5, because Civil
Ultron's
War.
not that bad.
Yeah, no.
Ultron is not as bad as everyone remembers. There's a couple
know.
awkward moments, but
I even know from when we talked about it, Brent. Like, it was inconsistent, but we did enjoy a decent amount of it.
But I think Gamora is stuck in the Soul Stone because it's a soul for a soul. Mm-hmm. So
Yeah, we know that. Yeah.
Guardians of the Galaxy 3 is the search for Gamora to get her out of the Soul Stone with the help of Adam Warlock.
Oh my God, they're fucking Spocking this.
Why not?
Oh my God.
And then Guardians 4 can be Quita coming back to Earth and saving the whales. And Guardians 5 can be them going to center of the galaxy and finding God.
I knew this was a crack.
You know the good thing about me sitting next to Raph is I can turn off his mic. That's
No, legitimately, I think she's in the Soul Stone, and that's going to be part of the plot of Guardians 3. I think it's possible.
yeah, no, not the whales
Not
part,
the search for Spock
No,
part, but the fact that they.
What if she comes out and builds a suit of armor as young Gamora in an armor that looks like older Gamora?
We are
similar
not-
to Tony Stark coming out of Heroes.
Teenage
Reborn.
Tony?
Or-
Oh my god!
and then
No.
Thanos turns into Onslaught. Like, is that what we're gonna fucking go with this? Like, and that's
Hey, guys.
No.
and that's how the
Hey, guys.
X-Men show up.
That's
And that's how
Phase
the
6.
X-Men show up.
Hey guys, Phase 4.
What?
Fantastic Phase
No,
4.
Onslaught is Phase 6. They got to set up their new Xavier and Magneto.
Well,
that's right, yeah.
if this Fox deal goes through, which I still think it's going to, but now with the whole Comcast in the mix thing, who the hell knows? I'm still betting that the very last credits scene of Avengers 4 will be Reed's arm coming out of the negative zone.
That'd be nice.
I'm calling that. Like, whether or not they cast somebody as Reed or not, that's where I think we're going with that.
And then the next big culmination could be Annihilation.
Yeah.
Avengers Annihilation. Oh my god, that'd be so cool.
That would be pretty awesome. Yeah.
Okay. Anyway,
Yeah.
we were talking about things we didn't like.
Things we didn't like. One thing that I immediately need to touch on is this is now the second movie in a row where the Asgardians were just thrown to the side as if they were toys.
Yeah.
Like
I mean, it's Thanos though, so.
no, I know that, but hey, remember that place we set up for 2 Thor movies worth of stuff as like this civilization and everything is like important and stuff like that, and the Asgardians have just been thrown to the side. Like, that's
No, so he said half his people died on the ship.
yes.
So who went and saved the other half?
Valkyrie.
Valkyrie, Korg, and the rest are all
And
on
Meek.
are
Korg
on
and Meek.
another
And
ship.
Meek.
Yeah, they're
Here-
all on another ship.
Hold on. So here's the thing. I just rewatched Thor Ragnarok a week ago.
Yes.
Right after I saw Infinity War. Mm-hmm. At the other ship that they stole from Sakaar,
Yes.
that's parked on the ship.
Ah.
It's you can see it clearly at the end of the movie, right before Thor takes the throne and goes,
Okay.
"Where do we go next?"
Okay.
The ship that they stole is parked on top of the ship.
Uh-huh.
Thor could have been like, "Listen,
Pleasure
you need to
boat.
save our people."
Yeah.
Yeah, the pleasure boat. Thor could be like, "Listen, I know you want to fight. You got to save our people.
Yeah.
They're the last of our kind. Take them and go."
Yeah.
And he could have stayed and fought. That's something Thor would do. That makes a lot of sense. Thor wouldn't run.
Yeah.
He would try to save his people. Loki has seemed to have developed a spine and wants to help his people, so he would have
Yeah.
done that. Heimdall would have stayed behind because that's what Heimdall does. And Valkyrie, I mean, she probably would have stayed behind, but also she knows that the Asgardians need to be saved. So what probably happened was they took the ship, and Thanos was like, "Let them go. We save half anyway."
Yeah.
And then they fight Thor, and they beat the crap out of him.
Meanwhile, which Loki are we getting next? Female Loki or Kid Loki?
I want
Ooh,
Kid Loki. I
Kid,
want
Kid Loki. Yeah, I think so too.
I want to have a Hellhound named Thori.
Negasonic Teenage Warhead to be female teen Loki.
Oh my God.
That'd be awesome.
That would be
Oh,
fantastic.
Brianna Hildebrand would be great as Loki.
Yeah, that would be cool.
Not Infinity War related, but I have watched that Celine Dion video like 9 times.
I've seen it, but I
I
haven't
watched it once and chuckled, but not enough.
I haven't watched
Not
it.
that
I've
many.
just seen it.
That was the best. That was the greatest thing I've ever seen. Can we do it,
It was
again?
funny. I watched the Childish Gambino video more times than I watched the Deadpool 2.
Yeah.
This is America. Yeah.
Yeah, that's true. That's true. So yeah, that was one of the issues that I had with this. Just is how quickly that they're thrown to the side. And
They're just too. I think they're just too powerful. So you've instantly. It's the same thing with like any real Justice League story. Superman always gets taken out first,
Yeah.
or depowered, or sidelined, or whatever, so that the rest of the team can figure out what the real plan is, and then Superman comes in at the end, just like Thor does here.
yeah.
Oh my god, that entrance though! That is my favorite superhero. That's my favorite any entrance into a scene ever. Just like shooting lightning at everyone, throwing the axe
my
and like
God.
killing half a dozen
Yes.
wolves, and he's like, "I want Thanos," and he just like lights up like half of Wakanda with lightning. Oh my god, it's so cool!
And it's Beta Ray Bill's hammer.
yeah,
That's what's so
it's
freaking
Beta
cool.
Ray Bill, and so
Yeah.
we can have Beta Ray Bill theoretically if Chris
Yeah,
Hemsworth decides to call it
Dude,
quits.
you said you rewatched Ragnarok. You didn't see his skull.
I
on
did
the
see his
side of
skull.
the tower?
Yeah.
I did see his. It was him, Ares, Gladiator Hulk, and the fourth guy. I think that was Korg.
No,
I
it wasn't. It wasn't
sure.
Korg. It was some other character.
I didn't recognize him.
It was
so-
some other character, a space character that I
Yeah,
can't
but see,
remember.
Beta Ray Bill's in
Yeah.
the universe, and this is
Yeah.
even more of a possibility now. That's what I'm saying.
The other things that I
Well, I don't think that Stormbreaker's going to become Beta Ray Bill's hammer just
Yeah.
because then what's Thor going to use?
no, you're right.
I mean, this is for when Chris Hemsworth decides to leave and if they want to continue the franchise.
Oh, okay.
That's what I mean. He's never going to take. No. Chris Hemsworth.
I don't
as
think
long as
there's
Chris
going to be a
Hemsworth's around-
horse skull leading the Thor franchise. Sorry.
I know. This is just me being a nerd about it. So it's fine.
The other thing that I didn't like about the movie was Black Widow's hair. All right, so let's move on.
And what was
actually, there
Eric
was-
Masterson's hammer's name?
Thunderstrike.
Thunderstrike.
That was
What-
more of a mace than a full hammer.
Yeah.
Was that the name of the hammer or the name of his character?
Oh no,
It was the name of both.
His yeah, exactly. That was the name of both. Yeah, it was his mace / the name of the character, Thunderstrike.
Yeah. So
Okay.
I had one nitpick
Yeah.
about the movie, and it's the power levels. Because although
Were they over 9,000?
they were like over 10 trillion.
Okay.
And then sometimes they weren't though, because I feel like they didn't do enough. They didn't do enough to service the Infinity Gauntlet. But then I kind of got the feeling that they depowered the Infinity Gauntlet a bit, because I reread the comic over the weekend too. In that one, as soon as he has the gauntlet, he has cosmic awareness. He's aware of everything in the universe. He doesn't have that awareness in the movie,
Yeah.
which I think is they did that because they didn't want. Because then Thanos would be unstoppable. Then he would see every attack coming all the time, forever and always.
Yeah.
And no one would stop him. So that bothered me a little though, because he's tossing moons at one point, and then they're like just like easily like knocking him around at another point. It's kind of hokey to me, but it makes sense if he's not like completely aware of his surroundings.
Well, they also made it so that he has to squeeze his hand tight.
Right, he has to
activate
like
the gauntlet.
Right, it's kind of like Iron Man's like repulsor beams. Like he has to like do a certain movement to activate them.
Yeah.
which is fine. I get it's fine. It's a
Him
minor nitpick.
legitimately throwing a moon at Tony though.
That was badass.
was badass.
that
Jeez.
was baller, as the kids like to say.
Yes.
I saw somebody that nitpicked that he didn't actually throw the whole damn moon. That it was
It's like, come on.
pieces of it.
Are you saying?
This was a meteor shower, not a moon throw.
Brent, are you saying that's no moon?
That was no moon.
Technically, it wasn't. It's pieces of one.
And that's really all I can think of nitpicking wise. I'm sure there's
Oh,
others, but I can't.
And also for the people who are bitching about Doctor Strange not cutting his arm off,
Mm-hmm.
first off, Wong did it. That doesn't mean Doctor Strange knows how to do that.
Yeah.
And second off, Thanos' body is probably a little more indestructible than that.
Yeah, definitely.
Just because it happened to Supergiant, or I'm sorry, Cull Obsidian, because they changed his name.
Oh yeah, actually, that was the other thing I wanted to point out is that
No, his name's Black Dwarf.
Black
Black,
Dwarf, yeah.
no, his name's
Yeah,
Black Dwarf.
thank
No,
you.
Supergiant was the
comics,
Omnipath.
Yeah.
My bad.
And
Yeah.
apparently, Black and Dwarf are not cool enough names or PC, so they named Cull Obsidian is the actual name of the group.
Of the
in
group, the
comics.
Black Order. Yeah.
Actually, you want to know why they renamed it, Brent? Because they legitimately had a dwarf in this. That's why.
Yeah,
Ah,
Yitri.
true.
Yeah. So that's why. But I think that we could have gotten more out of Thanos' quote unquote children.
Yeah,
because,
they were kind of underpowered too.
Yeah, like the Ebony Maw and
Well, they
Corvus
didn't
Glaive.
say their names. They only said the Maw.
Yeah,
He's the only one who gets
Right.
named. The other two don't.
yeah.
No, they
The
said,
three
no,
don't,
they
actually.
named Proxima.
Oh no, they did name
They
him?
did. Yeah,
Okay,
Proxima
When?
was named by name. Yeah.
So Corvus and Cull Obsidian didn't.
Yeah.
That's still two. So
No,
yeah.
no, I think
Corvus
she's
Glaive got a bad rap. He's
he was the
technically
leader.
he's like the most powerful guy with his blade and all that stuff.
yeah, he was the leader too, and Proxima's his wife. So
But the name Corvus Glaive was used in the Lego set.
Oh yeah, that counts.
Hey, the one kind of like nitpick, and then I'll explain it because it was in my second viewing of it. I did realize that I want to get. I do need to get a little bit of food and use the restroom real quick. So I chose the point kind of early on where they get to Scotland with Vision and what's her name?
Yeah.
I thought it's the second time around. Peter Dinklage was not as great as I loved him in the first time.
I heard that a little bit too.
I'm freaking thrilled that he's there, and it was a great surprise. But he is hamming it up.
Oh,
Yeah, yeah. He's like, "Oh, Thor, you must open the iris." Oh.
He did have one of my favorite lines though.
What?
You'll be killed only if I die. Yes, that's what that means.
And if he can open the iris, and he's got the stuff on his hand, why didn't he just put his hands up in the middle of the iris and melt that stuff off?
Oh,
and
no,
then he would
Those are replacement
not have it on his hands anymore.
No, they cut his hands off.
the Stargate fan in me was so fucking happy that a giant gate in the middle of the galaxy needed to be the iris opened for. Like that, open the iris, and then the whole Stargate thing starts. That's what that's all about. Stargate SG-1, watch it, and you'll know what I'm talking about. Okay, moving on.
Calm down, Teal'c.
Indeed.
It's the new God of War.
Indeed. Oh, that's right. Yeah,
Is he really?
yeah,
Yeah.
Wow.
yeah. You didn't know that?
I didn't know that.
Yeah.
He's only in 4.
Oh, okay.
the current one, the one where it's the
It's
Norse
a different
one.
actor for everything else.
Oh,
They
sweet.
replaced the guy from Living Single? What?
Yeah, they did.
No.
Well, but you want to know why? Because he's probably busy, filming the reboot or something. Because they're rebooting every '90s sitcom.
I know,
True.
right?
Yeah. Fucking rebooting Martin. Who asked for that shit? All right.
Not Martin.
Martin
Neither did any of his co-stars.
needed his paycheck.
we all know that Tommy and Gina need that money, okay? All right?
Hey,
And Pam with her bum ass.
Tommy and Gina never back down. Okay, that's
Oh, God. Oh, God.
you set me up for that one way too easily.
I know.
So Spider-Man's Iron Spider outfit. Fucking love that
Great
it's
use.
legitimately a combination of 3 Spider-Man outfits in one.
The roll cage was awesome.
Yes. Yes.
And I'm so glad they gave him 4 arms, not the stupid 3.
Yes,
Yeah.
definitely. Well, it was what Superior, Iron Spidey, and
Big Time.
and Big Time, all combined in one. Because with the light up eyes and everything, that's definitely from Big Time.
So the same with the light up symbol.
Yeah, that too.
That green light up symbol. That's definitely Big Time.
It's the Superior emblem, basically.
yeah, but with the light up part's definitely from
Yeah.
the
No,
Not
that
Big
emblem
Time,
was a Ben
worldwide.
Reilly emblem. Wasn't Superior necessarily.
Yeah, I guess it's
and
closer to that.
It's worldwide, not Big Time. When he becomes Iron Man,
Right.
The Iron Man of the bootleg Iron Man
and
that everyone hated.
speaking of Iron Man, the Bleeding Edge suit looked.
Oh, my God.
Loved it.
I have been waiting for that suit because it's one of my favorites, and that was excellent.
I wanted to come out of his skin, but I know that's a little too freaky for people.
Yeah.
It's the closest thing to it.
Yeah,
Oh, my
and
God.
that's fine. No, I loved it.
Do we think Pepper disappeared?
How's she gonna rescue Tony?
Why couldn't Iron Man have put his nanites in like a belt? Why did it have to be that giant chest piece other than comic books?
For the arc.
You know what I mean?
Yeah, the arc right.
Like you can't just wear it in a belt around you.
Because
You know,
he hasn't
that'd be the size of a cell phone in your pocket.
he hasn't pocket sized the arc reactor.
It's just that chest piece. Yeah, he's always had that arc reactor chest piece.
Yeah.
It's branding.
But you could have an arc reactor belt buckle.
It's branding. He's Tony Stark. He knows he has a look.
My
He's gonna
brand.
Stick with that. Yeah, exactly.
Yes. Look with your special eyes, Tony. My brand.
Uh,
Yeah, I'm trying to think of some other things to bring up. Steve. We haven't talked about Steve at all. So
He's barely in it.
yes, but that beard. Oh, that glorious,
At
glorious
least
beard.
we know the Russos can direct, and the Miss McNeely and the other guy can write
Yes.
a movie not about the Bucky Cap love affair.
Yeah, that's true.
But we got it. We got it though. We got it in one scene. I was happy.
It's guy love between two guys, man. Come on, that's
Guy love. Guy love.
They threw away the Great Civil War arc for that crap.
yeah. Well, whatever. I still love Civil War, so that's beside the point.
I see you've copied my beard.
Yes.
Meet my friend, a tree.
Nice hair.
I am Groot.
I'm Steve Rogers.
I am Steve Rogers.
Beautiful.
That's so good.
All we needed.
So
from, All we
good.
needed from Steve was bring them to Wakanda, have that line exchange with Groot, and the new shield, and that's it. That's all we need.
And the holding back Thanos moment was pretty cool too.
Yes, that too, because that's pretty much straight from the comics.
Speaking of Wakanda, can we say how awesome freaking Okoye was in this movie?
Yes.
Yeah, she was great.
Oh my God, yes.
Like,
Yeah.
like every female character was a badass in this movie, and I loved it, and I'm here for it.
Oh my God. Well, the you're all
Why she been
alone.
up there the whole time?
Yes, thank you. Best line in the fucking movie.
Yeah.
But you're all alone now, and no, you're not. You've got us, and like freaking.
So, in my head, I like to think that Okoye was the one that stopped Widow back in Civil War, and this is their way of like
Yeah.
them teaming up as opposed to fighting each other.
Okay.
That's in my head, but I don't think that's actual canon. It's just me. But I like the parallel of that moment.
Instead of a proton cannon, you're firing a head cannon right now.
Exactly. Head cannon. Infinity.
Oh god!
War.
Wow, really? Was it a Marvel's Capcom reference?
Yes,
Oh,
it
yes.
was.
No, it's not. It's Marvel superheroes in Quest for the Gems.
Yes. And the most recent Marvel's Capcom game that nobody plays.
Oh wait, does he bring back the proton cannon?
Well, yeah, of course he does.
It's
wanted
his
that
main
email.
moveset.
Yeah, it's always there, man.
But does it scream infinity?
Most hilarious moment of this movie for me is how they just completely ditched Scarlet Witch's accent entirely.
Yeah.
Yeah, they didn't even care anymore.
Yeah.
Elizabeth Olsen's like,
Like, oh.
listen, guys, I'm not going to try anymore. Don't force it on
Yeah.
me. I don't care. I've been in America for 4 years or whatever it is. I don't
Yeah.
want the timeline. Just give me my regular accent.
Exactly. And development of Vision, man, like over the last 2 Avengers movies has been pretty tight.
Well, one and a half. Civil War is not a full Avengers movie. It's a Captain America movie.
I meant Age of Ultron.
Yeah, one.
Smack 'em.
That's one.
I want
Yeah.
to hear the smack.
The
That's
last
one.
2.
There's
the
one.
last 2. Infinity War. Infinity War
But
is 2.
But he wasn't in Avengers Age of Ultron until halfway through.
That's all right. Fine. Okay. All right. One and a half.
Vindicated.
All right. All right.
You're gonna
Congratulations.
count Scarlet Witch being in Avengers movies. Then you're gonna count Vision.
Well,
'Cause they
Scarlet
both
Witch was in it
were
earlier.
Avengers for the same amount of time.
And Quicksilver
2
was in
seconds,
exactly
yeah.
half. And he was cut in half too.
I don't think there's been any talk about Nebula.
Yeah.
And again, back to Titan that she and Tony Stark are on.
Yeah.
You guys just said something about Gwyneth Paltrow, Pepper coming to get him, but
How are they going to get off Titan? Because she's trashed her ship into Thanos.
They still have a ship though.
Oh, wait, no, they have the Milano
Yeah, they do.
because the Guardians are gone.
Exactly. Yeah. So Alyssa can save them. That's exactly what it's going to be. Thank you for bringing her up, Eric, because Nebula's arc in this was actually pretty damn cool. I mean, it's similar to the comics, because in the original version, she was actually tortured way more gruesomely than she's tortured in this.
Oh god, that was disturbing too.
Like legitimately, like basically just like taking her down to an atom and then like bringing her back like a couple of times. It was not pretty. But in this, breaking her down the way they did was pretty cool, and a nice visual effect too. They've really cemented the sister ship between Nebula and Gamora over the last couple of Guardians movies too. So it was nice to see them continue that here.
Yeah, Nebula now looks like Nebula in the comics.
I know. Yeah.
Just like everything else Marvel, they just stole from the movies.
Yeah, everything's slowly
Fine,
morphing
it's fine.
together.
Yeah.
Well, actually, no. Nebula looked at that before, though.
Nope.
Yes.
Hold on.
Yes.
I'm looking it
No,
up.
in the Infinity Gauntlet,
In
she
the-
looks a lot different.
Not Infinity Gauntlet. I'm just talking about the regular Guardians, like the Abnett and Lanning stuff. Did she look like that, like a cyborg? I think it
Yeah.
just came straight from the movie, and then they adopted it in
No, they adopted
current books.
No, that was from late '90s, I think.
I am looking it up right
I
now.
don't remember Nebula being in Guardians, in the Abnett Landing Guardians.
She was
She
not.
wasn't.
No, she was not. Let's see. So, let's see if I can
The
find
last
an
thing I
early
remember her
look
from
of
is Infinity Gauntlet because that's the most recent thing I read, and that she looks like Gamora,
Yeah,
except
she's still human then. But I thought she got transferred. She was chained into the cyber 90s, I think it was.
And well, I'm looking at a picture of her now. I don't know where this is actually
no,
from.
that looks pretty recent.
That does look pretty recent. Let's see if I can find an older one of her.
Because that's digital coloring.
So Nebula, in Ronin, I'm sorry, in Annihilation #1 Ronin, she's cyborg. That was 06.
Oh, okay,
Okay.
that's fair.
Oh yeah, actually,
Boom, bitches.
yeah.
Does she have bald head?
Yeah.
She has a
Yes.
bald head and she has a cyborg eye.
She's wearing different color clothes, so
But
she's
it's
not.
basically the same outfit, so it is comic accurate to 2006.
You know what she looks like,
man.
Brent? Actually, she looks like a female bald blue Cable.
Yeah, actually, yeah. I'm looking at the picture right now next to you, and it looks like Cable.
Basically.
It looks Cable-ish.
Actually, Deathlock. That's what. That,
Yeah. Deathlock eye and like Cable arm and like a woman's body.
Basically, yeah. So she's a lot more cyborg in the movie, but the basic look is the same. Like they definitely took it from the comics.
But she's also Thanos' granddaughter, not his daughter.
Yes,
so
and
that's fine.
and Star-Lord is not Ego's son in the comics either. So
No, yeah.
Drax is not an alien.
yes,
Right, he's a human jazz singer, jazz musician. Oh man,
I am.
Actually, she appeared as that form before Annihilation too.
Wait, hold on, Brandon. Say that again, but say "well" before you say the word. Actually, I think. we need-
Well, actually,
thank you. That's we needed that.
You can edit that in. That'd be awesome.
well, actually,
like that. Well, before Annihilation 2.
excuse me. In
allow me to adjust my glasses.
May 2006.
oh my god.
Drax's appearance is quite dramatically different than what you previously knew.
Yeah. What did you guys think of Gamora's death? By the way, I think they pulled that off really well, especially with the intercutting of shots and everything.
All those bells.
Yeah.
They really milked that moment. It was great.
They did. Yeah, I dug that a lot. And fucking Red Skull. That's
I
all.
know,
I
that was
know. I know. We
incredible.
mentioned it already, but fucking Red Skull.
God, I would never. Did not see that coming from like a mile away.
Yeah.
They kind of telegraphed her death right before it happened, but I did not see freaking Red Skull. That was just like, you see the wispy cloak. I'm thinking, oh, they're gonna bring in Death. Oh no, they didn't bring in Death. Oh God, yes.
And I want to know his story because he mentions trying to find the stones, and he only ever knew about the Tesseract.
Well, from what I remember from the
I think
dialogue.
that's what he was referring.
Yeah, because I saw the
Oh,
movie
right.
3 times. He says he held one in my hand, and then the stone banished me to this world where I've been the
Got
keeper
it.
of the soul stone.
Okay. All right. Eric, was that what you were saying, or was it something else?
Oh yeah, held one in his hand.
Okay.
About that.
Got it. Okay.
Yeah,
All right.
he's talking about the Tesseract there.
Yeah,
Got
the space stone.
Okay. All right. I hope he shows up again. That's all I'm saying. Like, this better not be the last we see of the Red Skull.
I hope there's an encounter with him and Cap next movie.
Yeah.
While they're trying to trace Thanos' steps.
Oh, that would be fantastic.
Right? And just like you.
If Red Skull's like, hey, buddy, good to see ya.
Listen,
My old
Captain,
adversary.
I've made mistakes before. I'm sorry. Again, he's
not-
Arnold.
He's not Arnold.
I don't want to do a German accent. I'm sorry.
Yeah,
I'm not European.
It's tough to do sometimes. Yeah.
Yeah,
Now he's
but
going to accuse you of being a Nazi.
now is the
okay?
time on
It's very-
sprockets
it's
when we
very hard to do
dance.
American accents.
That's it. Just sprockets it. That's all you need is like, or Hans and Franz.
Sprechen Sie Deutsch?
There you go.
There
Boom.
we go. I'll work on it.
Yeah. What Wakanda? So what I was impressed by were the swerves in the advertising for this movie.
Yeah.
Oh,
Yeah, there's
Yes.
no glory shot of all them running in the woods.
Yes, and a glory shot that included.
And you never see Hulk.
Thank you. Yeah, I love that. Like
that
every.
was the,
Oh, my
oh,
God.
and the gauntlet too. The gauntlet.
Yes. You're right.
Yeah, you only had like 2 stones in all the advertising.
Yep. Yeah, so that you would never know which part of the movie they were talking about.
Yep.
That was great.
Because of that, I was telling Jim that like that Wakanda. I was telling him the whole time like that Wakanda battle scene. I bet that's in the middle of the movie, and there's a whole battle scene we haven't seen anything of.
Yep.
And that wasn't the case at all.
Yeah, because I thought
But-
Titan was going to be at the very end, like Act 3.
Yeah.
Like that's
Yeah,
the
me
final
too.
stone. Yeah.
Yeah. Well, and one of the very, very first shots that we saw in any of the trailers was Tony looking dejected on Titan.
Yeah.
And that turned out to be one of the last shots of the fucking movie.
Yeah, and
Yeah.
what a reason to be
Opened with that in
dejected.
one of those trailers.
Yeah. Like, oh my god. And Spider-Man didn't have his metal arms in any of the swinging shots in the trailers.
No.
So they hid that. But the Hulk, more than anything else, they did a really good job of hiding. And actually, yeah, what was everybody's thoughts on that? Because this was an Avengers movie that probably had the most emotional Hulk arc when you think about it, as Banner is trying to come to terms with him with himself and the Hulk. For the first time, Hulk is scared.
He's a scared little punk bitch.
Yeah. That's
He
never
got put
happened
down by
before.
Thanos at the beginning.
Yeah.
Man, he got his ass beat like a bitch, and he did not want to come back out and play again.
I'm sorry. Did you say it like a bitch?
Like a bitch.
Like a
punk
bitch.
ass bitch.
And that is the voice that Brandon is going to podcast in from now on.
Yeah, Aaron Neville, yeah, the entire time.
Yes.
I read one theory. This is the only one I've read, and after I read it, I decided I'm not going to read it anymore.
Yeah.
Based on The Last Jedi.
Oh no.
Oh god.
No, the theory wasn't based on that, but based on the way The Last Jedi turned out with fan theories, I
Yeah.
decided after reading this one and thinking it was subpar,
Uh-huh.
that I'm not going to read any more on Avengers.
Okay.
But
well, yeah.
it was basically saying that Loki is Hulk.
I heard that
And
one too.
Since Loki can't actually be as powerful as the Hulk, so to speak, the only thing he can do is try and turn himself green like the Hulk, and then figure out a way not to turn into the Hulk.
Yeah, because the best way to do that is to show only the fans when he's having trouble with that. Like, come on.
But that would mean that Loki's Banner and that Banner's dead?
That's why it doesn't say where Banner is, but that's apparently it's the way to explain the whole Banner Nat, like do I know you kind of thing. I don't know. It's
Yeah, but
very
in-
thin. I
in the
thought.
trailers-
I didn't say it was good.
They have that scene where like Banner's working on the Hulkbuster and they apparently have a moment that they cut out.
Yeah, and it's going to be a deleted scene in the on the Blu-ray.
I want a
almost guarantee it.
60-hour director's cut. I will watch the shit out of it.
Yeah,
Yeah,
seriously.
you're not going to get that. There's one thing that Marvel doesn't do very well, and that's the Blu-ray releases.
except for weirdly enough, again, because I mentioned it already, the Blu-ray release for the Incredible Hulk has about 20 minutes of cut footage. That's all
Yeah, I
pretty
know,
damn
yeah.
good.
So
Well, no. I mean, Marvel, like the Iron Man 1 Blu-ray
Yeah.
has like a full hour and a half long documentary.
Mhm.
Incredible Hulk has a lot. After that,
Not much.
very, very sparse.
Yeah.
Like you go back and watch the original Avengers Blu-ray, you get about like 15 minutes of behind the scenes, and that's
yeah,
it.
no, you're right. I own
and
it.
you're like, what? This is at that time that was like the biggest movie, and you're like, you're gonna give me 15 minutes? That's it in a gag reel?
Didn't one of the Iron Man movies also come with the Iron Man animated movie with the Mandarin?
No, it did not.
No, I could have sworn it did.
I wait for the Phase box sets.
Maybe
so-
it was like a
okay.
double package with
Maybe.
in a store, but none of them are on the disc. No.
Okay. All right. Fair
No,
enough.
one of them did actually come with a that was like a digital release of that one.
Okay. All right. Maybe. But no,
If I had seen it, I would have gotten it.
I think
I
we're
don't
getting one
remember
of
it.
two. I think we're getting one of two things in the next Avengers movie. We're either getting Grey Hulk or we're getting Prof.
like
Ooh.
Smart Hulk. Yeah.
Yeah, I think that's what's going to happen. Is that there's going to be a compromise between Hulk and Banner, and it's either going to turn into Grey Hulk because he can't quite transform, and that's what we're going to get, or we're going to get Prof, where it's Bruce's personality, but Hulk power.
That'd be interesting.
Yeah. And I almost guaranteed that's. I think Prof is more likely because I could actually see Wong helping that transformation happen.
I could also see this thing where Banner goes inside his mind and has a conversation with the Hulk, and they come to peace with each other.
Oh my god! I remember that from the animated series back in the 90s.
Yeah,
Yep.
I just
Oh,
thought
God,
about
yes.
that. That's why I'm bringing it up. They
Yeah.
could go that route too, which is kind of cheesy, but not totally out of the realm of possibility.
That was easily the best of the animated series, other than Spider-Man and X-Men. It was Hulk.
Are you saying it's better than Iron Man season 1?
Yeah,
I
am Iron Man.
What are you talking about? I've never seen it.
Oh god.
You mean claustrophobic Rhodey?
Yeah.
No.
Yeah.
Uncle Phil, who is Rhodey and Shredder.
Yes.
What a career, Uncle Phil.
Schrody.
But
Schrody.
come on, guys. Better than the Fantastic Four cartoon from the 90s also too?
Okay, there's only
In
one.
that second season, when their suits turned black with blue highlights, that was the best season.
That was the best season, yes.
Hey man, there's only one. There's only one Human Torch left to redeem. Brian Austin Green has to be in a Marvel movie.
You're right.
Flame on and on and on and on and on. Oh god. That episode.
Oh man. Yeah. And I think the only real thing that we have left to discuss is Dust.
All we
Yeah.
are is dust
So-
in the wind.
All I gotta say is our good buddy Ziggo on the comic tube.
Has
Him
been
and those
killing it.
memes.
He's been killing it.
He is killing
Fucking brutal. I don't know
know.
if he makes them up or just finds them, but I only see them first on his page, so I'm gonna give him the credit.
Yeah. Oh my god.
They're really, really good.
Oh god. The Spider-Man toy one was brilliant. I'm like,
Yeah.
oh.
Oh my
That
god.
one was real
No,
good.
the Superman stash.
Oh.
Superman stash. It was great.
Yeah, that was awesome.
So Brandon, I have to ask you, how does it feel that every Black Avenger other than Rhodey disappeared?
No, Okoye's alive, so we're fine there.
But she's not an Avenger.
She's a guard.
God damn,
She's a general.
Freaking Avenger in my mind.
All right, fine. She's an Avenger.
Well, also, M'Baku is still alive. M'Baku is still alive.
Yeah. But seriously, the minute that Falcon disappeared, I'm just thinking to myself, "Oh my God, Black Panther and Falcon, come on!"
Well,
Like, why the black
basically, it's the majority of the guys that are left alive are
the originals.
and
Yeah.
they're getting their final hurrah next movie.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's what I'm pretty sure everyone knows that.
Yeah,
Except for people who don't. Which I gotta get to that eventually. But you keep going.
yeah.
And a friend of mine here in real life, he posited the idea that it's Doctor Strange that prevented them from going to Dust,
Oh, really?
because
I
he
don't
knew that those with the time stone and the
He knew who
gauntlet,
was gonna die.
he put that little
Okay.
Yeah, but it's supposed to be random.
Yeah, it is supposed to be random. You're right.
How you would do that?
but that he randomizes it. Some of these 6 people, if you include Hawkeye.
Oh,
don't
out
know
of
about.
all the permutations.
Yeah,
Gotcha.
yeah. It's possible.
I hope Hawkeye turns to dust and they never bring him back.
No. They can redeem Hawkeye because look, if you see a scene with Hawkeye and his whole entire family turns to dust, and he's the only one left,
no!
Then he puts on the mask.
And then afterwards he
upset.
quits and he gets a solo movie and it's Bat Fraction Hawkeye after that.
Yeah, and then Jack.
No, and then Hawkeye is his solo movie's written by Jeff Loeb.
Oh,
and then
Oh.
Hawkeye.
and then,
then they bring back Scarlet Witch and Quicksilver and make them into a relationship again because that was cool.
Yeah, man.
yeah.
Yeah,
And-
buddy.
and then
and they
they're
had the Blob eat Wasp.
And then they're going to sit around a breakfast table discussing life, and then some dude named Jack of Hearts is going to show up out of nowhere, and he's going to blow up and kill him.
And then this bald guy
Yeah,
has
Ultimates
Hawkeye.
3, everybody. Ultimates 3.
Well, I was thinking.
Hey, I'm combining everything, man, because
disassembled.
I also went disassembled with that shit.
Yeah,
he did.
I noticed that. Yeah, you did.
But seriously, fuck you, Jeb Loeb. All right,
Hey, listen. His son had cancer and died.
Yes.
15 years ago,
Yeah, all
and
right.
he's only started to recover 5 years ago.
I understand the pain. I just wish he would have stopped writing
Yeah,
comics.
he's
that's
still
all.
leading up the crappy Shield series. So
Yeah.
Listen, we all wish he had stopped writing comics.
Yeah.
Shield's
all
all right. I don't know. I haven't watched in 2
Let's not
seasons.
discuss
but
his
it's all right.
pain. Let's go back to Dust, okay? All right.
Well, that's the rest of ours pain.
Yes.
Except mine because I'm laughing at everyone, but it's okay.
All right,
Spider-Man's...
so question.
Yeah.
All right, so we've all read Infinity War, Infinity Gauntlet, and Infinity Quest. Did you actually see them doing that?
No,
in
I
the
did
movie?
not. No, I did not.
No, but I hoped they did, and I was glad that they did.
As soon as Gamora said the line in the trailer where she said Thanos wants to kill half the universe. I was like, how are they going to do this? And I want to see. I had a hint. I didn't know how far they were going to execute. And the first time I saw it,
Yeah.
I was stunned because I was like, oh man, they really went for it. And the second time I was like, oh man, they really went for it. And the third time I was like,
the yeah, I know, I was there.
were there.
The very minute that Thanos said the words, "You should have gone for the head,"
oh yeah.
my jaw was dropped,
Yeah, same here.
and I also thought that they were gonna pull a fast one and have him meet death in that
little scene.
in that little scene. But when it turned out to be, young Gamora, that was just as touching. It's just I seriously thought for a minute that we were going to see ghost death there, like skeleton death. But they didn't go that way.
Maybe it's death as Gamora.
That's a possibility.
Bum bum bum.
That's a possibility. Or maybe death is going to be in the Deadpool.
And she's gonna make out with Ryan Reynolds,
No, she's going to make out with Cable.
and her human face is gonna be what's her face, who's actually married to Ryan Reynolds.
She's got no, dude.
Blake Lively.
Blake Lively, yes.
Yeah, because they had such chemistry in Green Lantern.
So somehow I knew Green Lantern would be brought up on this episode. I
was just waiting. I was waiting for
just-
someone to drop the name.
I know, yeah.
He brings it up his own self in his interviews.
I
Yeah,
know.
that's so true.
But
He owns it.
Spider-Man's David Tennant moment, his "I don't want to go" moment.
Broke you.
Oh God, it broke me.
Yep.
It almost got me the first time.
Mr. Stark.
I don't feel so
don't
good.
feel
so good.
I don't want to go. What's happening? I'm scared.
Where's my uncle?
So
I haven't mentioned him.
Do your organs start to dissolve in the first? And like, how do you feel yourself just cease to exist? That's what
I
I want
understand.
to know.
Well, there's a fan theory out there that what he was feeling was his spider sense tingling because half the universe just died,
Oh,
and that's how dangerous the situation was. That it was just driving his body nuts.
but we didn't see his hair stand up on edge.
Well, because it's underneath the costume.
Oh, okay, that's fair.
You can't. Well, wait, Mr. Stark. Let me take off my coat. Let me take off my suit. Look at my hairs. Look at my hairs, Mr. Stark. I don't want to go.
But that's actually a pretty strong.
I thought
fan
that was a
theory.
strong theory,
Yeah,
so
that's a strong
I'm
theory.
going with that.
Yeah, I could see that. But it broke me. It completely broke me. And we had the people screaming behind us,
Oh, she was openly sobbing,
especially with Black Panther.
Yeah, the Black Panther got her, and then she was openly sobbing when Peter left.
Yeah.
Like, no.
How could you do this?
Yeah, even Andrew was like, no, and I was just like, yes.
We saw it with one person who was seeing it for the first time. Our
Yeah.
buddy Andrew, and he was completely crushed.
So I gotta wonder, because
Yeah.
like a good comic book fan knows that this is bullshit.
Yeah, that's why I was laughing.
I have a response to that.
And Black Panther made so much money. How many people really believe?
I have a story
that
for
they
you, so I'm
killed
gonna
this billion-dollar franchise.
So
I can believe it actually though.
yeah.
I got a story for you, so I'll let Ian go first.
Okay. So as a fan of the Marvel Cinematic Universe and a fan of comic books, I do my best to separate. Even when I know shit is going to happen, I never really know shit is going to happen, especially in this, because I mean, like we were just talking about, like, did we seriously think when this movie was announced that it would end with half of the universe turning to dust? Like, come on. And it's more about the art of the experience and the way that they did it, where even as T'Challa is disappearing, you're not sure if it's him or it's sorry, I'm blanking on names now all of a sudden. But the woman, the one played.
Okoye.
Thank you,
Okoye.
Okoye. You're not quite sure if it's Okoye or Black Panther because of the way the disappearance starts. So when it was him, in my head, I'm simultaneously going, "Holy shit!" and "Okay, now I know it's going to be reversed." But you know what else is going in my head? oh shit, we're gonna see his sister put on the Black Panther suit. Yeah,
Shuri.
But we don't know if she's still alive.
she's still alive. She's still
But
alive. Yeah.
Also, too, like, to the fact that we're in this a lot. We're, like, the most we're covering this industry.
Yeah,
You know,
Mhm.
we reread trades.
yeah,
The average theater goer doesn't do that. you know?
exactly.
Nope.
Yeah, please.
And
Yeah, I
like,
know.
like we're informed. You know, the average movie theater goer sees it as just entertainment. You know,
Mhm.
we're knee deep in this. We're reading reviews. We're reading reports from sets. You know,
Well,
and
if
they're not
there,
doing that.
well, Brandon, if there's one thing that I know more than anything is that I'm extra glad that I had read Age of Ultron before seeing Avengers: Age of Ultron because it followed the plot line of that
So
to the
Kind of
letter.
the same.
To the letter.
I've never seen such a
exactly, yes.
perfect like Watchmen didn't even come as close to that as Age of Ultron did.
Oh God! Well,
I mean,
Age of Ultron was
wow.
a masterpiece.
I loved when Wolverine killed the other Wolverine.
I know that was
Oh wait, that was Logan.
I didn't know.
Yeah. No, I
didn't know how they figured that out.
Ant-Man went back in time. Oh God!
Yes. Oh, an Invisible Woman when she showed up, that was great. Raph, tell your story real quick.
I got 2 or 3 different stories from. So I went the first night I went was Friday, which was opening night. I went in the afternoon because I have a 6 to 12 shift. At the end of the movie, right when everyone's dying, I had like a bunch of people behind me really angry. And as the credits rolled up, they were about to get up and leave. I'm like, where you going? It's like, no, this is bullshit. They killed the best character. Why'd they kill Black Panther? He just made him $1 million. I'm like, guys, calm down. It's not. There's one more movie after this. They're like, really? I'm like, you didn't know there was a second movie after this? Are you kidding me? Everyone knows this.
Hold on.
They're like, what?
Mid story, I have to remind everyone on this show. I mentioned it in our Avengers episode years and years and years ago, and I forget
pretty sure
I forget whether or not you saw it with me the first time.
I did because
Yeah,
I was
you were there.
yelling about Phil.
Yeah.
In Death, he has a name. His name is Phil Coulson.
Correct. And
Coulson.
you remember as well as I do when that end credits scene came on with Thanos and the guys behind us
Yes.
saying, "Yo, I didn't know Hellboy was in this."
Yes, I remember that. That was so fucking funny. So that's my first story. Oh my, yeah, I totally remember that. That was so. So the second story is I'm in work. It's been a couple of hours. This one guy, he's an older black gentleman. He like maybe in his 50s. Comes in the store.
And his name is Maxim Gorey.
Yes, was. He comes to register, and I'm saying, he's like, I need these books. Did you have that book where Shuri becomes Black Panther? Do you have the book where Miles Morales makes his first appearance? Do you have the book where the first appearance of Captain Marvel? Do you have the book? Basically,
He
rattling
doesn't
off.
have all those first appearances. They're all expensive as shit, but I'll sell them to you right away.
And I gave him the trades, and he's like, well, is it? And I look at him, he's like, well, what about the next Infinity War book? And I'm like, there is no next book. What do you mean? Because Infinity War and Infinity Revelation, or whatever the third one is, are not the same as the movie.
Gauntlet and Crusade, I think, right?
It's Infinity Gauntlet, War and Crusade.
That's what it is, yeah.
War and Crusade have nothing to do with the movies. They're completely different. They're Adam Warlock stories.
Yeah.
And I'm trying to tell him this, and he's like, okay. But I'm getting looks from people because they haven't seen the movie yet, and they immediately walk out because they have to go to their screening because they don't want to hear anymore.
Yeah.
But this guy's like totally oblivious. I'm like, you know that's not permanent, right? It's like, no, this is gonna happen. They're gonna make sure you Black Panther in the next movie. I'm looking at him like, you poor deluded fool. That's not the best part. Comes in next week.
Oh my god.
Doesn't recognize me. Has the same set of questions. And then he asked, what's the second part of Infinity War? And I'm like, okay, Infinity War is a combination of like 7 different comics. And I start pointing them out to him.
Did you direct him to the Hellboy onto this?
No, I wish I did. I wish I did now. But afterwards he's like, so what's the ending of this? And I'm like, there's no ending. He's like, what?
Just give him Infinity.
I did give him Infinity. I gave him Infinity. I gave him Infinity Gauntlet. I gave him Infinity War. I gave him like Guardians. I gave him a bunch of stuff.
Give him that like Marvel Heroes like kids version of it.
I should have.
Yeah.
But I give him all this. I'm like, but we don't know what's going to happen in the next movie.
Yeah.
He's like, what do you mean? I'm like, it's a movie. They don't get everything from the comics. We don't know.
Yeah.
He goes, "Oh," and he puts all the books back down and walks out. And I'm like, "You stupid motherfucker! Why did you waste 2 weeks
Manager
of my
comes out
time?"
and looks at you and like, ugh.
And then you yell after him, "Come back! I didn't mean it. Buy our books, Midtown Comics."
Someone said, "It's in this one. It's in this one."
Postscript, someone did come up to me
He
and
would
say,
never know.
Yeah.
Some
His
You're a
name was
terrible
Jay-Z.
salesman.
And
Postscript.
his name was Jay-Z.
no, but see,
Like
this is
it ends like Secret Wars.
the second
Just read that
time.
Hickman book, and that's how it's gonna end.
This is the second time I've dealt with him in 2 weeks, and I was sick of his shit because he's saying it really loudly, and I'm seeing people like, I haven't seen the movie yet. I'm getting annoyed with him because he's ruining the movie for people. We have a no spoiler rule at the store.
Yeah.
So, but luckily, a couple people came, like they overheard a conversation like, "Oh, what were those books again?" And I handed them to them, and I got a sale out of it.
Nice.
I didn't get the sale from the douchebag,
Okay, all
but I
right.
got them from the other ones.
All right, all right. Well
Because he's
done.
like trying to spoil himself on the next movie. I'm like, there's nothing to spoil. We don't know. If I knew, I'd be out. I'd be bribing people to keep the secret, man.
You mean
I'd be going to
I
Disney
just
like, hey,
gotta say,
give me $25 million. I'm gonna tell everyone how it ends.
Yeah.
It is.
I think it was silly when they came out and said, "Oh, Avengers 4 is no longer called Infinity War Part 2. It's just Avengers Untitled." I was like, "Yeah, okay." And then about halfway through the movie, and they're like not wrapping this up, I was like, "Yeah, that's going to be Infinity War
Yeah,
Part 2."
and do
like,
you-
they can call it whatever they want.
Yeah,
but
and it
they shot
threw
these
everyone off.
back-to-back, scripted back to back.
And Brent, do you
know.
want to know why?
Even the
Go ahead, Eric.
even the actors don't understand exactly what's going on.
Yeah.
They're all confused. Like, okay, I shot this other stuff, and
And you want
confused about what's going to be in which movie.
I know why. because Harry
Tom
Potter
Holland can't keep a secret.
No, because
Yeah, well,
because
that's true.
Harry Potter
Ruffalo.
Part 1 and Harry Potter Part 2 didn't do nearly as well as the previous movies. Hunger Games Part 1 and Hunger Games Part 2 didn't do nearly as well as the previous movies. They did not
And what
want
about
to
Jedi?
Jedi
Return of the Jedi. Return of the Jedi.
Return of the Jedi and Return of the Jedi Part 2 didn't do nearly as well.
Even the Star Wars Christmas special.
Okay, that
No,
did
that was
pretty
the
well.
Ewoks.
That did pretty good.
Scripted
Yeah, Ewoks did
video
pretty
movie.
decent as well. But no, they didn't want that
Battle
shit.
Royale.
So that's why the movie is going to be called something else. But it's still part 2 of this overall story, which is why I'm still betting my money on it being called Disassembled, just because
Or Gauntlet.
or Gauntlet. No, it's not going to have the word infinity in it at all. I almost guarantee you.
Avengers: Dust in the Wind.
Oh, yeah,
It could actually be oh crap Avengers Operation Galactic Storm.
It could be.
No.
I know. I'm shitting you. It's not going to be called that.
I hope.
Heroes Reborn.
Yeah.
I just
hope
want
when
Avengers
you see the-
6.
when you see the Guardians
it should be
next,
called Heroes Reborn.
If it's called Heroes Reborn, I will laugh so hard.
Brandon, you just broke me.
the last Guardian scene in Avengers 4, after they all come back, has to have Dust in the Wind playing.
Yes.
What you say?
Oh my God, yes. And also as Gamora's dying the second time that I saw it, because I'm slightly less invested because I've already seen it for the second time. In my head, I'm thinking, what you say?
Oh, that's kind of harsh. Says the guy that cackled at everyone's deaths.
Yeah, I know. I even turned to you and I fucking did
that's
it.
true. That's true. I did laugh too. So I have no ground to stand on.
So, thoughts on the very, very last scene, post credits, after we got the credits for the 2 pieces of music in the entire movie that were licensed, the Black Panther theme and Rubber Band Man. That's it. Everything else was score. The very last
Black
scene.
Panther theme?
I think, yeah,
There was a credit for it.
yeah, it was credited.
Different-
Yeah,
What is the Black Panther theme?
as in
Yeah, it
the theme from the Black Panther movie, because it was orchestrated by somebody different.
Oh,
They
Because
had-
it wasn't Alan Silvestri.
Yeah, exactly. It's like when
Okay.
they have to credit like the star, like the
did Silvestri do Captain America and all that stuff?
He's in Captain America, Avengers, Civil War, Winter Soldier, and this one,
yeah.
Okay.
and also Age of Ultron too.
Yeah.
Didn't Danny Elfman do Avengers 1?
No, it was Silvestri. Danny Elfman did Justice League.
Yes,
Silvestri did Avengers 1.
Didn't Elfman come in and help out on Age of Ultron, I think?
I want to say
he helped.
possibly.
I think he helped in Age of Ultron.
Yeah, that's what I think it was, yeah. But anyway, yeah, the very last scene, where for the first time in a while we see both Maria Hill and Sam Jackson.
Oh, actually, Brian.
Hill's dead. Hill's not coming back.
You think so?
I mean, she'll beg. The actress will beg. But I don't think
And
she's coming
kid
back.
and kids, that's how your mother turned to dust.
I mean, look, I was a big fan of Robin Sparkles back in the '80s, but I mean, her time's done.
She can't be any worse than the Hellcat on Jessica Jones.
Oh man. Well,
She
she's.
ruined that character.
I started watching Jessica. By the way, I'm 6 episodes in.
I'm one
So
episode in.
slow.
It is very slow. Yeah.
It doesn't get any better either.
I'm liking it, but I know that there's some pain up ahead. So whatever.
Did you finish Punisher?
No, I never did.
I love
Podcast?
Punisher.
I'm still working on it, dude. I am gonna get to it. I'm watching so many shows at once that I basically have to just like watch a little bit, take a break, and then go back to other shows. Like I'm almost entirely caught up on Flash. Like I gotta watch I think last week's, and then I'm caught up. But anyway, yeah. So the very last scene there with Maria Hill and Sam Jackson. I don't care if his name is Nick Fury. His name is Sam Jackson. Getting out of the car to investigate, and then Hill turns to dust, and we get a half motherfucker out of
Yes.
Sam Jackson
Motherfucker. Best line.
as he's using his cosmic pager to signal Captain Marvel. And that's where we end it. So she's going to have a huge role in the next one, obviously.
Captain
Yes.
Marvel. She's a Marvel. Gonna take pollution down to Marvel.
Thank you very much for that. My
Turn the mic off.
question is, I'm getting there. My question is, when we see her, is it going to be her, or is it going to be a Skrull in disguise?
Ooh.
That's what I was hearing, that somebody was saying that Avengers 4 was going to be Secret Invasion.
Not 4,
And then
5.
halfway through the movie, I was like, yeah, that's not happening.
Yeah.
No, you can't.
No.
Also, Kree Skrull War has to happen first, I would think.
Which we're basically
Chris
getting in
Paul
Captain Marvel.
Was, yeah.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. But I mean, the what do you call it? They don't have they don't have the rights to the Skrulls.
Yes, they do.
Yes, they do.
Yeah, they do.
Oh, okay.
They're in Marvel.
Scrolls are going to be.
They're the villains in Captain Marvel.
Yeah, seriously.
Oh,
They have
okay.
the rights
Kree
to-
Skrull.
So
I
they
thought
have
that was a
the rights to the
Fantastic Four thing.
Skrulls.
They probably just don't have rights to Super Skrull.
That's
Yeah,
what it
they don't-
is.
They
Yeah.
don't, they don't name scroll rights, so they can use like Claret and the other one.
Right. You mean they can't use Elijah?
Well, she is a Fantastic Four character, so
I know.
Yeah.
That would be hilarious, though.
I don't. It's a weird
Yeah.
thing.
But no,
it doesn't matter. They own Fox anyway. They own everything.
You heard Lee Pace is going to be in Captain Marvel.
Yeah, he's going to be Ronan.
Yeah, exactly.
The Accuser.
Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah, so Ronan's coming
and
back.
Set in the
Jaimon
90s.
Hunsu's coming back.
Yes.
Oh yeah.
Jaimon Hunsu.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Star Lord. Yes.
And-
you remembered my name.
And Coulson's first appearance in a movie since he died.
And Sam Jackson with both eyes.
Yes.
Yep.
I know.
And a hairpiece too.
Yeah. It turns out Rocket Raccoon gave him his second eye in this one.
Yeah.
He hit it in his butt.
Totally gonna get that eye.
Oh my God, yeah. So yeah, I mean, thoughts on that? Was it a good stinger for you, or were you expecting more?
It was a good stinger because I was just still in shock from the ending.
Yeah, it provides a little bit of hope.
That's true. Yeah.
And I didn't know what that symbol was.
You and half the other people in the theater, I'm
Yeah,
sure.
Of my friend group that we saw it, like 10 or a dozen of us maybe that I arranged for the Tuesday after it came out. I mean almost all but one or two of us knew
Okay.
or didn't know, that is didn't
Yeah.
know.
Yeah. Was there one guy in the theater just screaming out, "It's Captain Marvel, guys! If you were wondering, I have her Wikipedia open."
No, Ian, you
said
weren't there
that
with me,
without
so
the
no.
Wikipedia.
Oh, okay. I'm sorry.
I said it without the Wikipedia part.
Okay. One guy did actually wind up I think I was heard me say the word Captain Marvel, and one guy did actually go, "Yeah, man, Captain Marvel, woo!" as we were walking out. So that did actually.
And no one better say Shazam.
I think someone did say Shazam at one point at one of my screenings. I don't remember.
Oh no.
Oh, do you think she's going to use a Shazam at some point?
Well, the other movie's coming out pretty soon. It just finished principal photography. So.
Oh yeah, right.
The Shazam movie.
Yeah, see, because all of
With
these
Chuck.
because all of these solo DC movies, I give more of a shit about than the actual Justice League at this point. I'm actually somewhat looking forward to Aquaman. Weirdly enough, but yeah, I think it was a decent setup for it. And
Is that coming out this year?
Aquaman's coming out this year, dude?
Yes, November.
Yeah.
Wow, that's late.
Yeah.
Oh, whatever.
I know. Yeah, it's coming. It's coming.
At least it's not benched yet. Okay, it's still they can still scrap it. Okay.
Yeah, Flashpoint got scrapped, which
Hey,
thank God.
Willem Dafoe's still annoyed that his Justice League scenes got scrapped because he was promoting those in a freaking WTF interview like 6 months before Justice League came out. Like, oh yeah, I'm gonna be in this Justice League movie that's happening later this year. No, you're not.
Well, maybe he should be happy he isn't because that movie.
That's possible.
Again, it wasn't a terrible movie, but it should have.
All right.
I should have been blown away like I was at Avengers,
That's true. That's
like
true.
the first time around.
So I want to end this real quick on our general thoughts and opinions of where they could go from here. But before that, give me your most favorite moment in this entire movie. And I'll start it with Raph since he's literally sitting right next to me.
It's really obvious. It's the part where Thor goes, "I want Thanos," and he just like lights up half the planet with lightning and kills like 8 trillion like bug guys. I'm just gonna raise that number every time we talk about it.
I believe that is exactly what you're going to do.
And also, pretty much Thor was my MVP. I love Thor, all the Thor scenes in this movie.
Yeah, I think my favorite moment in this was actually the fake out in Nowhere.
Oh yeah, that was a good one.
Yeah. As we, like we knew that Thanos wasn't going to die that easy, but the fact that not only was he not dying that easy, but everything else was already done was just a damn moment. Like, yeah, you got there way too late, guys.
That's an Ozymandias moment right there.
Basically, yeah, I did this.
Just like Xandar.
Yeah. Oh, Xandar, no. Oh,
Poor Glenn Close.
Oh, it's all right. There's probably at least Richard Rider out there somewhere. Probably, hopefully. Brandon, what was your favorite?
I got 2 actually. First off, Bucky picking up Rocket and spinning around with the guns.
The entire reason I didn't mention that scene is because I figured somebody else would.
Yeah, that's brilliant.
Get some.
And then also to Cap and T'Challa running ahead of everybody else.
Yes.
And what side is Cap on? The left.
Yeah.
Yeah, but like who's left? Your left or his left?
He's on the he's on
Stage
his left.
He's on stage.
They're
left.
both running in the same direction.
Yeah, on your left.
It's not opposite directions.
Yeah, on your left.
No, but I mean the viewer or from their perspective.
From their perspective, because we're behind them.
Is it on the left-hand side of the screen?
Yeah.
It was a-
Yeah.
It was
'cause
a top-down shot.
We were
and
behind. The
Cap's
camera's
on his
behind
left.
them.
Yeah.
And he's on his left.
Oh, can I comment real quick that the enemies attacking Wakanda look more like symbiotes? And symbiotes, not symbiotes.
Symbiotes, damn it.
Than Venom does in the entire fucking trailer for that movie.
It's a symbiote. Thanks, Cap's girlfriend. You fucked up the pronunciation.
Is that Cap?
He's
Is that Cap's
symbiotes.
girlfriend? I thought that was Jenny Slate.
In real life, dude.
Oh shit! Yeah. I thought you were.
Well,
talking
not
Ashley
anymore, but they
Johnson.
were.
Yeah. And she's also known as Ponyhead.
Okay.
Yeah. Good old Ponyhead.
Yeah.
Eric, what was your favorite?
Groot giving up part of himself.
Yes.
That was a good moment.
That was a very, very good moment. Yeah, that was awesome to do the axe handle. Yeah.
I'm Groot. Gee, wow, language. Huh. You speak
Wait,
Groot? Yes, it was
Groot?
elective.
Yeah, it was elective.
Oh, does anybody else think that Groot's going to wind up with like an SNES classic by the end of these movies?
Please?
Like,
Please.
I want the original Game Boy.
oh, that would be
The fat
amazing.
one.
Yes.
No, he'll have a Game Gear. A Game Gear.
Oh, and someone's going
Peter
to
doesn't know what that is, though.
somebody's going to gift Peter an iPod Nano, but he's not going to have the charger for it. He's going to be stuck with the Zune charger, so he's going to be really confused.
Wait, this is USB, but that's not. What the hell is this? What the? Oh.
And Brent, what was your favorite?
Thor's return, and all the little discs lighting up, just like
Yes.
Ultimate Thor.
Yes.
Oh,
Yeah.
it was hard.
Definitely. Yep. Oh, and I did enjoy. Hey, Squidward.
That's. Yeah,
What?
they threw a lot of references in there.
Yes.
Squidward.
Grimace.
Grimace. That purple ball
Hey,
sack.
have you
on
ever
your-
seen that really old movie, Alien?
All right. I know some people that
Flashdance still the best movie. It never
It
was.
was.
Footloose, not Flash.
Neither was Flashdance.
Is Kevin Bacon on the team? I haven't been there in a while. He probably is. I don't know.
Kevin
Did you say hitherto?
Mantis was great in this in general. Oh, hi, Drax. I'm moving so slow.
Doctor Strange was great in this movie. I gotta say,
He was better in this than he was in his own movie.
Yeah, and those
he was
one-liners.
fantastic in this movie.
Yeah, them walking to get sandwiches at the very beginning was pretty great. Like you don't have any money.
Attachment to the material is the attachment from the spiritual. I'll tell them that at the deli.
What do you got here? Like 1,000 rupees? How much is that? $1.30?
Well, what do
And
you
that's
want?
going to buy a tuna melt.
I wouldn't say no to a tuna melt.
All right, where are we going from here? That's the last, and we'll end it on that. Brandon, where are we going from here?
Ooh, some dark places, I think. I think really it's going to lead to, ultimately, the new Avengers, I think. And I think we're going to get either the death of Iron Man or the death of Cap and a whole new team out of this.
All the more reason why I think this next movie is going to be called Disassembled is because the movie after that's going to be called The New Avengers.
Yeah, because I think, this was the darkest moment, the darkest movie out of all of them still. But there's still a lot of character growth and places to go in the next film that could be even darker.
Yeah.
Especially since it's going to be a finale of sorts. We're going to get some characters walking away, some characters, Cap made that line of we don't trade lives. So that's my big thing. I think he's actually going to trade his life.
But hey,
somehow.
It's going to be the
anyone to do it. It should be Cap.
It's also going to be the Jedi of the franchise, so Ewoks.
Ooh, yeah, a little chewy.
Lots of rabbits. Lots of rabbits for Thor.
Oh, Jesus.
I'm thinking that not every original Avenger is going to make it out alive. However, I have an idea in my head, and it's complete fan service, and I do not fucking care that the next movie is going to end with the gauntlet shattered and Cap picks up the Reality Stone, and in doing so manifests his original costume and his original shield, and it's him versus Thanos at the end of the movie. And by the end of it, he's going to have to sacrifice himself in order to destroy Thanos, and that'll be when Bucky takes over the role of Cap for good. Or possibly Falcon. Who the hell knows? But we're at least going to have one original Avenger dead by the end of next movie, and my money's on Chris Evans because I think he's done with the franchise. But who the hell knows? We shall see. But and almost everyone's coming back from the dead, but maybe not everybody. Maybe not everybody. I like the idea of Gamora staying dead. I think that because she's in the Soul Stone, and she may very well not be able to be remanifested.
Guardians
Any
3.
pre-dust death should stay.
Yes, agreed.
I agree with that as well.
And Zoe Saldana has like 4 Avatar sequels to film now, so
Right.
she will be busy.
Or does she? Because they're holding the movies back until Marvel stops making money. So,
and also that means Quicksilver can stay dead because he's pre-dust. All right. So yeah,
did you see that coming?
I'm going to... So, I have a bunch of
Wanda
theories.
gets the Reality Stone and brings him back.
Wanda's dead.
God. Yeah, but she might
But she
get it
comes
at the
back.
end. Maybe she says more mutants.
Yeah, that's possible. So here are the 2 crazy theories I have that probably aren't true, but I'm going to throw them out there just because it's fun.
False.
One is
You're wrong. Stop talking.
everyone who's turned to dust isn't dead. They're in the Ultimate Universe.
Okay, that's that. that
It's crazy, right?
That's
it's just
a
fun. I'm
possibility.
just having fun.
Let's see what
Although-
let's see what happens in that animated movie.
Right.
Yeah.
The second one is everyone who was alive is actually dead, and everyone who turned to dust is actually alive.
Yes, there was this great show called The Leftovers on HBO.
Yeah, with Proximate
No,
Midnight.
this is Lost. They're in purgatory.
Left behind.
Yeah.
Oh God.
Left behind.
Oh, geez, really left behind? Wow.
Oh my God, Kirk Cameron is the savior of the Marvel Universe.
Show me that smile again.
Hey,
Cameron
what
and
if
Chelsea
James
Noble.
Gunn casts Kirk Cameron as Adam Warlock?
Fuck no.
Oh God, I don't think.
Oh my God.
Channing Tatum should be Adam Warlock.
He's Gambit. He
Could be
can't.
Gambit. if they ever film it.
That's right, Cher.
No, he's not.
He's Magic Gambit.
That movie's never happening. Come on,
It's
please.
scrapped. We know that.
What were
They
you gonna?
keep trying. They're on like their 5th director.
What were you gonna say?
No,
That
it's scrapped actually.
yeah, it's
scrapped.
scrapped entirely. Yeah.
Yeah,
What-
because the Fox merger is going to happen before they even greenlight that movie.
what were you gonna say to his first theory, Brandon?
Oh, yeah. Actually, I think that's not the first theory. The second theory of maybe who's actually is alive actually really isn't alive. I think that's plausible. I mean, or I'm sorry, being transported someplace else because he said he would rewrite reality. So maybe these people exist in a separate reality.
The negative zone.
Right? And you can do annihilation.
Seriously, like the negative zone, dude. Like that makes so
Right.
much sense.
Yeah,
Or
and
maybe
it-
some
it-
sort of
it-
phantom zone?
You shut your you shut your face.
But it's happened before in comics. They've done that before.
Yeah.
yeah, you're right.
I'm
Yeah.
just I just wanted to come up with some of the most out there, craziest ideas just for the fun because there's more real answers out there.
They get transported to this place called Battle World, and there's this guy called the Beyonder.
Yeah.
And he's wearing a leisure suit.
And Galactus
That
shows up.
jumpsuit.
In
Jumpsuit,
shorts.
that
Sorry.
suit.
And he's trying to learn how to poop.
Thank you, Jay and Miles.
Secret Wars 2, baby. Secret Wars 2. Eric,
By the
where-
way, I caught up.
oh yeah, yeah. I'm still a little bit behind, but I'll catch up eventually. Eric, where are we going from here?
I just have a hard time kind of really figuring out something because I know so little about all the comics that are, all those kind of possibilities coming from those. But the one thing that you guys were talking about earlier, Hulk coming, getting it back into the mix, coming out of Banner, in those couple different ways. I sure hope something that they better move forward with something and dealing with that
Definitely.
for him. And that could make the fourth one here a whole lot of fun too.
That would be very cool. Yeah. And we get to see Wong Sorcerer Supreme as the villain.
Oh no! What's his face comes? Mordo comes back. It's like you should have listened to me.
I can see that.
Everybody wants more Wong.
Listen, Wong's terrific.
Well, yeah.
It's a lengthy Wong time.
I hate you all. I hate you all.
You're either
I
right.
love Wong. Long time.
You're either right or you're Wong.
Exactly.
That's all I'm saying. Me.
Look, Ian, 2 Wongs don't make a right here, okay?
I mean,
Yeah, but however, 2 Benedicts make a Doctor Strange, and we move on.
no, there was no shit Sherlock scene with Peter and the two Sherlocks.
Yeah.
That was disappointing.
Can we comment that once Captain Marvel was out in theaters, both sets of Watsons and Holmes will have been in Marvel movies?
Really?
Yeah, Jude Law is going to be in Captain Marvel.
Oh shit!
Yeah.
Yeah,
You're right.
He's playing Marvel.
Shit.
yeah.
Oh shit!
He's playing Marvel.
I'm excited now.
Yeah, exactly.
That comes out the day after my birthday,
Oh, cool.
so we're going to see Captain Marvel for my birthday.
well, hell yeah, definitely.
Yeah.
And Brent, where are we going?
No fucking clue. To bed.
That's a good answer.
That is a damn good answer. And from there, give our ratings real quick. It's very hard for me to not give this a 5 out of 5 because it did actually live up to my expectations. And maybe after future workings or watchings, I'll think differently. But it's 5 out of 5 for me. Ref?
Yeah, I mean, if I want to nitpick, it's like a 4.97.
Thanks, Chief.
It's a 5. It's fine. It's
Brent?
one of my favorite movies.
5.
5, cool. Eric?
Yeah, 5. Yeah, I can't wait to see it a third time.
Nice. Brandon?
Hopefully later this week.
I mean, it's no Iron Man 2, but it's a 5 out of 5 for my book here.
I want my bird.
I want my boy.
But
you want a bird?
how's that feel? I took your stuff. How's that make you feel?
Is this bird in Russia? It's a Russian bird?
The only other Marvel thing that I want to mention is there's a game on Android and iOS that came out for every fan of Marvel Avengers Alliance that I just discovered.
Yeah,
I don't
Strike
know.
Force, I love it.
I don't know how long Strike Force has been out.
It's only been out for a month.
It's essentially Avengers Alliance 3.
Really?
And it plays a lot like the Avengers Alliance mobile version that they came out with that they
That was
killed.
2.
And that was 2. And it's not stuck with not having X-Men characters as well. So that's good. Like Wolverine is one of the characters you can almost immediately get if you play the game for 6 days.
Like a barrage.
Yeah, and they're doing stuff with Thanos right now in it, and there's mission raids and stuff like that. And there's a whole bunch of like team stuff involved, and there's battles versus other players, and you boost up your teams like you would in other games of that sort. So definitely check out Strike Force if you get a chance. It's on both iOS and Android. If you're a fan of Avengers Alliance, this is definitely a pretty close replacement. It's nowhere near as cool as the first one was, but this is definitely fills a hole, and I've been playing it like nonstop. So there we go. All right, guys. Brandon, where can they find you?
As always, you can find me on the Twitters at the Dabadon, TheDabbadon. You can follow my podcast, Pop Culture Clash at Pop Culture Clash on iTunes. We are still continuing our RuPaul's Best Friends Race coverage. Episode 13 just came out. So that was my co-hosts, Ados Baron at Ados Baron and Mallory doing their coverage of the drag race on our podcast. We will be back with our normal stuff once I have a job again. So hooray.
Someone buy Toys R Us, please.
Yeah, no, I've got a job. My new job starts the 28th. So
awesome. Congratulations.
Sweet. All right, we'll talk about that off air. Right on. Very cool. And Eric, where can they find you?
Yeah, personally, Lucky Mustard on Twitter is my handle there. And I'm co-host of Watchmen Minute. So just Google Watchmen Minute, or if you really need a URL, realpodcastnetwork.com. That's REEL, as in like a film reel, / Watchmen Minute. And we're on Stitcher and iTunes and everywhere else, Google Play.
Very cool.
And then I also have my upcoming in 2019 other Movie by Minute podcast will be Almost Famous Minute. The movie from 2000 by Cameron Crowe.
That sounds like it could be a lot of fun. I like that movie a lot.
And now the Watchmen Minute, that is the director's cut of that.
Yes.
But then for Almost Famous, we decided, I and a possible co-host, decided to not go with the director's cut of that, though. That is just so it's going from a 186-minute long movie down to like a normal 2-hour.
If you ever get a chance to watch a director's cut of That Thing You Do, I would recommend it.
Okay.
It makes it
and there was I think they finished That Thing You Do Minute.
Oh, cool.
I don't know which one they did.
Nice, but they add in a couple storylines that they cut out from the movie that I find very interesting. One including a gay subplot for Tom Hanks's character.
Ooh.
Well, that's mimicking Brian Epstein from the Beatles.
Ah, there you go.
The Fifth Beatle. I recommend that highly.
Cool.
Graphic novel.
I've always meant to check that out.
Yeah. And then there was something else I was going to say just a minute ago. Oh, yeah. Moviesbyminutes.com is where you can find currently 93 different shows running. And some are franchises, so there's plenty of more movies than that even.
Nice.
That are being done.
Very cool.
Have been done or are currently being done. And there's so many more on the way. It's crazy.
That's insane.
of this genre. Detailed.
Yep. And Brent, where can they find your stuff?
YouTube. PK's Bullets.
Mm-hmm. You had a guest episode, right?
I have a bunch of guest episodes.
Ooh.
My buddy Jim, I give him trades from the library.
Uh-huh.
He reads them and reviews them.
Nice.
The biggest shocker was I gave him JLA the Nail, and he hated it.
Really?
But
What?
knowing, so Jim is a new reader. So I threw him in the fucking deep end. Go back and reread JLA the Nail. It's got Doom Patrol. It's a little bit of Doom Patrol, a little bit of Spectre, a little bit of JSA. Like everybody's in there. It's like giving Crisis to a first-time reader almost.
That's true.
But a quarter of as long.
So what you're saying is you didn't quite nail it.
Yes.
Don't forget to tip your waitress.
Try to feel.
Yep. Any audio BKs up and running? I mean, I know there's one on the site now.
There is one up on the site. I don't know if we're going to do a pre-E3 predictions. I probably will be doing an E3 wrap-up with him, but I think my plan is now to guest on his YouTube channel, Viper Magic, during E3 for each conference.
Okay, cool.
So I'll be busy doing that.
Cool. And if you want to make MP3 copies of that and post them on the site as like one full episode or something like that, you're more than welcome to.
Yeah, we just might.
Sweet. Cool. And Raph, you got a new blog, man.
Yeah, I do. So, well, you can find me on Twitter and Instagram at Raph Does Stuff, RAPH Does Stuff, kind of straightforward. I am the co-founder and chief content officer of nerdsranting.com, a casual conversation at the top of our lungs. I co-founded it with someone I work with at Midtown. I've also got frequent comic timing guests, Chad and Steve, doing contributions. It's like, 2-3 articles a week, hopefully, sometimes. Where we talk about random nerd stuff.
So what you're saying is you're just about as regular as this show.
A little more, actually, because I do have, we've been open for a month and a half, and we do have 12 to 15 articles.
All right, so you'll be at episode 200 before I am, or article 200.
I mean, that's not hard.
Yeah, no, that's not too hard.
That's not hard.
Yeah. All right, cool. And give the URL again.
Nerds Ranting, nerds plural, ranting, ranting.com.
All right, fantastic. And you can find more of us at facebook.com/comic timing or past episodes over at comictiming.net. If you want to see what we find out about or what we thought about the original Avengers or Age of Ultron or any of the movies before then, just check our backlogs because we pretty much covered all of them. And we're probably going to wind up doing a top 10 favorite Marvel Cinematic Universe episodes in no particular order. Movies, that is, in no particular order, sometime in the not-too-distant future. Because we couldn't
10-year anniversary
episode, so we shall see. That might be what we roll out for episode 200. Now that I think about it.
Well, no, I mean it's the 10-year anniversary of Marvel Studios.
No, I know, but I'm thinking that might be a good 200. Just
that's
to roll
not
with
till 2022. What do
you
you
shut your face. You shut your pie.
So on the
hole.
20-year anniversary of Marvel. Got
Yes,
it.
exactly.
Right.
By the time that Marvel turns 50, we will have episode 200 out.
I'm sorry. I'm being accurate.
We're proud members of the Comics Podcast Network over at comicspodcast.com and the League of Comic Book Podcasts over at comicbooknoise.com/league. You can find me at I am sci-fi on Twitter. That's I_M_sci-fi. Heehaw-DS9 on Tumblr when I remember that exists. And you can also find me in a bunch of other places, but I don't need to mention them right now. Eric, thanks again for joining us, man. We had a lot of fun.
Oh yeah, glad you had me.
glad you were available.
Had to have been had.
Most definitely. And the rest of you schmoes, I'll talk to you soon.
Fare thee well, morons.
All right. And as always, there's always. I don't want to go. No.
Why are you turning dust? No, Ian. No.
Time. It's time. Time again. Your time has run out.
Time after time.
If you didn't see the time comes stone coming, you weren't listening to my time monologue.
There's always time for comics.
Rebalanced.
Because I'm Batman.
Is it all part of a well-balanced breakfast? Thank you for saving that to the end.
I know.
It was perfect timing.
Did you know that Thanos' parents are dead?
Oh my God, his too.
Oh my God.
Was his mom's
His
name
mother's name
Martha?
Martha.
Oh
Yes. Why did you say that name?
Why did you say that?